As the dust settled, two figures streaked across the battlefield, facing the overwhelming payo of the X-Toms out. Lornan shifted his strategy. He chose to avoid the initial brunt, but Selly's away relentless. Even as she pursued him, she imbued H-Blah, Ert, and even Ma power flinging it toward Lornan without muxie. In yacht to massive cyclones erupted behind Lornan. Yacht lunatic actually split the X-Toms out in two. To unleash such a getting hit by yacht would be a nightmare, even if it payo hack bane X-split. A second later, Lornan charged the X-Tom at 180 miles per hour, slashing directly into the two side jet late mean hate swordplay. Is exactly Laven Bureau's X-Die. It OA the Hammer's Lejoneth Rage actually carved PPN by a Vita slit the foot of the Gao leveled the surrounding wreck. Damn, I can't even MC Chi. A dent if he CCT push the X-Tom's payo to its absolute limit, I might not be able to bit him. Ode on et happened to dick, by Hayes completely defying my predictions. Compared to Owen Wee, Kapsh Dolan Tagag, his Matari of the X-Toms out is much more refined. And Biffo, he OA much slower than me. No, Hayes almost as fat. Biffo yay, lunatic forced me to transmigrate. He OA even stronger BSC than. Sullyfin OA, equally stunned by Lornan's P-Famine. The voice Edisi1 uses in Han Pale as the Exitoms out. Please Yethly chose to fray at Horner to switch to Inun's he can actually CT through Matt. Not to mention, he can replicate the CCS swordsmanship so perfectly. I may have the HEH in technique put Yacht Gap on Lotlon. However, I've already re-expit limit of the magic satchel. I need to inject quickly. Lornan knew it too. Gaiban Sullyfin's rabbit gurked. If the fate drags on, shall eventually a cap to his fate in X-Stock. Those EMO and outdated technique, he will be no UE to UE. I can't L and Jit grips simultaneous longer. Both gripped keys out hilts tight. Egg split X-Secna later Sullyfin CT, his AI. Both she and Lornan vanished instantly. Lee flashes of X2 Uck visible in the mom they lendin. Lornan launched himself out Agan, catching at Sullyfin at high expit. Seeing Jit, Sullyfin gathered on D into H as she swung toward Lornan. The winds formed a massive, elongated gow. Lornan brecka into a can sweat as he disappeared into the X as the smoke cleared. A massive tear and farm the X-Tom. OA left on the but Sullyfin knew. Yeah, Lornan hadn't been defeated. Do have no choice. But the hut gale the X-Tom's out. Using Yat panning to plan a surprise act. No sooner had she spoken. X-Vargin out wounds appeared on Sullyfin's bogey. Bulb sprayed Avrio and Biffo she CCT even Lornan OA already standing behind. But Sullyfin gets smirked. Do Navu X stop surprisingly. Do RNCT up. Can do extra smile, Bifo the Octiuk, to the lashes of Zoutlay street path. In Yad blur of Sawunlay, they both struck Ichi KCA at the same time. Blood sprayed into the E. A second later they both retracted keyblades. They launched Anno, even fiercer Ak. Keys out auras flared was of they Ukabot to shroud. The entire area in Keysap edget TAI met foe a brief mum. They both LN Hihat stopping duel. Left the Oching upperclassmen breathless. My god. Is Jit really a freshman duel? Honestly, monsters lay him should be tested separately. NLA terrain doesn't slow him how at N. Nearby Edison couldn't H-Chip, but break into a Kensuabiro's warning. However, offered a slight T fascinating mock. They've both MT incredible progress since enrollment. However, key stamina ha hit it limit. Whether they lay it or not, the neck MUVU and decide the outcome. Amidst the flashes of X2, Key bot is already severe at Nwa Ode Rat CMO, joining Filian OA the bet Dak 6 and I ever then hin an opponent lay do, but do MT fu it by no. Rape, Lornan, it's time to NG duel. Yeah, Ellen's finished it. If we keep King legit, I might actually fall foe an opponent lay do. As Zun as they opt, they both leaped apart. Upon Longwen Sullyfin. Focused NH hostly gathered, when at hail only mocking bean BS, either. So S. MEF Brithen Duv GT. Waves of magic Ongi swirled around Sullyfin. Seem Jit. Lornan called H. I'm definitely recruiting due to out him. But Biffo ya. El Havutu UN no sooner had these Lornan's AI locked onto his target. He gathered strength in his hand, taking an offensive stance. A second later, Lornan vanished instantly. Sullyfin excellently a flut of Zauplay. Lornan had already leaped behind. Sullyfin always stunned, wasn't injured. Hey is even faster now amidst HSH. Lornam Yelshit Anno Ak. Dozens of Zoutshaho formed an inescapable net. Sullyfin gave a bit to smile. I hunt have you. The Ongi left to kip out, but if Hayes gang jit fat, the strain on his bogey MTB immense. Doesn't he have a backup plan? Yacht thought. Sullyfin gripped head shout and slammed it violently into the groin, ignoring Lornan's incoming act. As the BLGT hit the a massive explosion of Ongi era, Lornan immediately raised his Zout to blow. Oda Psycho. I thought IDU in Expit. But who would have Judd release the magic blot rate in front of herself? H injuries. Yes, no Yui she can precisely conch she's bound to teach damage fair H and she really own to Ewing yet but I'm the same. I'm not taking any more. Lornan charged straight at the cat and Sullivan. We're both at all limits. I can't any more time. I need to close and no. Lornan lunged fout. Lay a madman. He delivered a zoop, decisive strike. The voice you selected does not Sullivan's get smirked. Please Glenn you do you wanted to switch to you lived out to my expectation. Biffo she see a powerful ash inch that gathered on Sullivan's BLGT. Lornan gasped, if peeped of Rithan into jit. Sullivan at the Zen2 of the vortex. Vargin Gales merged into a massive X-Tom vortex. Stormy rends out. A bolt of lightning crashed how far? On the sky. Then, the Zout's moment became as owy as a tempest, forming a unsending X-Tom yacht swept the area. In an instant, the yacht shook. A run of Zout on D fell formed the sky, slamming into Lornan. On the smoke cleared. Both fighters, Seviret, in dozens of bullets sprayed instantly. But Lornan actually manic guy to stand. He leaped into the E. Do lunatic if do own to Kai? Haunted chimi the backlash farum the stormy rounds out is enough to threaten H and Lei. When it comes to swordsmanship she really is insane. Hots get how to aid Sullivan. I agree Kemen to Fillion away my bet Choi too, but in jit duel. Duer the own twisking to Ali the Octfa. Lornan haven't unsealed his facts to restrict his BLGT, Mecha, he runged own feign assault on Sullivan. Sullivan struggled to grip H Zout, jit tense mum, left everyone in the crowd speechless. Finally the Mockaway reaching it and both had exhausted every oxo of key strength. As the smoke cleared, they both X2 he bought his battered and breaking. Sullivan whispered, I have him the team thin left. Get up to as she spoke. Sullivan slowly collapsed. LSE Lei do gave outfax to Unch means, I Ewing. Biffle Lornan CET fit he also slowly collapsed. Both of him hell. Neither CCT got beat the entire ON held key breath. Key hearts and key throats. A man later cheers erupted farm the plaza. Lornan had taken how Sullivan, lead to fall himself. Lornan finally opened his AI. He found himself in the infirmary. A decent and prophet so Nibiros. Key by his shy. Do awake Lornan. Is the exam ev? Int, the exam is ev. Due to really when fo brecca and jot do even manic guy to wreck the ale. Cleaning up the mess UMT. Took up key a lot of my time but it oa truly a magnificent backhand. It oa octed, but considering do move fax to at least in terms of stamina. Do stronger. Giat me and I bit, ya bastard. Kit s Lornan, oa fillin smug. Nibiros brought him BSE to et. No, it's not a Bothuan. Since do Luek both teleported BSE at this, it's been officially ruled a draw. Do are both tied foe fac have to hear him just unfull amount since hot's how it is. Yes, Chinthan, Ronan's response surprised Nibiros. Yo Ritsen is BTU than I expected. I thought I'd throw a fit. Saying Duke couldn't accept such an ambiguous result. Rona scratched his head awkwardly. Is yacht really do thin of maggot fu yacht fo jit duel? Jit outcome is actually key fa. Besides, Shulafin is extring. Yui stronger than I anticipated. Cleali, jit means. Rate, L have you Trenluch. Hack a farm, and definitely winning neck Taimu. Hearing Ronan's oct, Nibiros nodded in satisfaction. Jit Kit isn't get maturing in his abilities. But in his mindset too. Exactly yes no nit to argue. Foe, both of do Toa Cleali, a valuable especially foe do, Ronan, Bict, do finally used the mana do longed foe. Ronan oa visibly jolted by the neon ode to do get zai. I can use magic. Yat fein yavi do pull wasn't the mana infusion, a true fusion of Zout and sorcerer. Duanron looked at H hen, recalling Yat mom. It really did foo, hipfern. So jit is oats known as Zout aura. On do able to use mana. Compared to the Intan Ongo do imitated Biffo, it deft is on a completely hip from Lavin. But judging by Yorik's-sun, do haven't fully mastered how to use it yet. So do nit to teach CCN Bict, unlike SEA stud we haunt no own. Yo physican condition might fey new limitations. Asher, at fax 2 late tomorrow. Tichi Ronan to zai yacht useless bastard. Useless bastard? Do min prophet so gi wim, basin shifts. In the Akaami's MDM Plaza, Bonan Ang Asher on Ki Ua to Zai Prophet So it's Vina Oe since of Shinhips is Prophet So Giwing, Oe recommended by Prophet So Nibiros. Hey, MTB incredibly extrain. Aosha patiently introduced Giwen to Ronan. Hey is considered a Matu in the Fu of Magic Applicaxim. Hats Oe. ICA professors often seek him al fo H, sometimes in magic classes. Students accidentally lays contra of Ki mana. They go to Prophet So Giwin, and he fixes the problem effortlessly. He sounds pretty impressive. But then ECCT Nibiru's Zim to dislike him. Ronan's Shuchin stumped Asher. I don't know much about Ki Hit, but it's probably big. They have subtleties for an personality. The Prophet So is a bit unique. Ronan fell silent. He smiled slightly, thinking to himself, Yacht doesn't matter to me. Oh, matters is Yacht. I can finally use Gman. Fida Yui if Yacht Prophet So is truly Yacht get. He might know Zementhan about the Rang Kamenhas magic. Biffo I regressed. I didn't know much about his Sao magic. I should ATXEC see the Prophet So to noticing Ronan's silence. Asher spoke up. I hit T do met Shulafan Bifo Kamen he own did he agree to your proposal? Ronan hummed a Rickspawn. Obviously of course he did. Yes. No Yui Yacht, guy would tummy. It turns out Ronan met Shulafan rate apt to bind discharge. Do came to Zaimi the mum duty. He seems we're thinking the same thing. Ronan. I can't accept it result either. Before he finished, his fate and expirat flei Hichiru Helida settled Jidon Enfo. Ronan get watched him lazily. I dislike the result as much as do, but I call do he had 2 a fo a hip for one reason. Biffo Shulafan CT Ria. Ronan whipped at a phileo. Gee my clap. Shulafan oa speechless oat. Is jit really it? And here I wandering old do hat jiza clap let by the rival who bit how ridiculous. Do thin I have u yacht. Sire Thuzu, if do kept talking nonsense, I'm ging to got and Ronan fell silent. But then he grinned mischievously at him. The clap memb, a planning a fan housewarming patty. And it so happens, shall be moving with my sister Irol. Shuli fen ht yacht. It oa lay had been injected or did dude get Zai Irol is moving in. Tell me more details. You two is it a Ziefu Plaxa? On the Keishimu do havu guards rargi seeing Shulithan so frantic. Ronan teased him by refusing to talk on. It's not yacht I untendu but oe what I tenziamo who isn't even in the clap. If do G no, LMCCA expetifo even finish Shulithan flicked his wrist. The membership fim, oa or do I MIT the requirements no I expect the fun explanation. Thinking BSE on Shulafen's behavior, Ronan couldn't H-chip but be stunned to thin yet jit you and on K become the low of Gransha. It's honestly worrying. Suddenly Asher stopped talking. He looked up. Alright, we're here. Jit is you Prophet Soki when says, seeing the gloomy Katsan of Deo 41. Ronan oa, bit taken aback. Jit plexa LSC incredibly creek yet lay Prophet So Zikrit Biffo. It seems Jit Guy Yuan begit, as eccentric. Suddenly a voice rang far mbh. Dukie is outwielding hoodlum. Prophet So Giwin. Asher quickly greeted him. Prophet So bick to Rona and Hobbin struggling magic. CCT Nibiru sent us to feign do. Gun get glance at Ronan. If he referred do he evict, do can use Gmana. Then do MTB a promising exton. Wouldn't do Zai Ronan? Yeah, it's a plea. Biffo Ronan CCT even finish. Go on immediately CT him. How much did you bring? UCC outside of charity requires a fee. He reached his hen al to Ronan. So I'm Sudu Siam prepared. Any rate? Rona oa dumbfounded. Do money rate no, and by the UE. It's at least 10 gun PAO. PAPX gen of course. Ronan thought he oa joking. But seeing his serious expression oa 100 su the Prophet So oa trying to rip him po I han havu anima. The voice you selected does not support though earns some money and please climpy and there equisab just we to an ugly voice oa. A bot to Ella. He felt a familiar mana emanating far Ronan. He stopped jet in his tracks. It seems an OUE how presented itself. Follow me Ellen Simsichi a Hayu. Ronan oa completely confused. This guy really is a piece of UCC. But he didn't realize. A yacht, it oa the Rin Salin gave him. Emitting the mana yacht hat CCT guide. Ronan mentioned it oa a gip far Sagan let him inside. Ronan looked around the barren, empty room. He wondered if Gidio really the home of a onti. At the same time he noted, the ko closed, and outside Noe vanished. Thanks to the countless magic circles etched onto the ko. If he wasn't a prophet so, I'd swear he oa a psychopathic kinlu. Ronan oa X2 observing his Saravani spoke up. Before we officially begin. Can I she yacht thing? Rona handed Ev the rin. Jit is a precious item. So handle it ka handwari, it's precious to me too. Taking the rin, Gawain examined it closely. Seeing it Myanea, I can fool how incredibly pure it magic is. Jidin team min, yacht Jit Ragan spent at least 2,000 years, mastering nearly every alum. Isn't it expirat magic? Do can 10 and yacht, my terms are simple. Allow me to extract it, a bit of the rin's mana. Extract mana, and Yes, and Pierre and E on fo a long time. I meet the mena of a long-leaf species, mastered the out of meg, Fury and many high elf mages. None of him can compare to Jit. It seems Durumberry get terms erd him though him to give Duzamanthan so valuable. Ronan reminisced about his time woo erd salent, and if do agree to Jit. I promise to give do my fun expug the yacht sounds git, but I have u own more condition. Hachip Asher solve his problem his own. As he watched Ronan Bardadine say immediately darkened. Hey, I'm lenient a tiny bit, but do adding more demands if do not interested. Hots Fang. While get of IP, do pushing it. I didn't zai yacht, apt to a mom's hesitation down agreed to Ronan's reeked. Kit do even get GTA town phone negotiation. Thanks for the compliment. No, LC into yo itsu. If yacht bastard away the own who sent do, then it be urgent. He's 8 pointing toward a magic XN. Please XTGP Ronan stood on it. Guyan began catten a diagnostic spell. It seems yo magic can senses Lee recently returned. He almost no traces of magic used in yo boji. The voice you select you to demo you for in that language. He full no. Please can I switch to another voice. But if Nevu actually used it, yet, bastard peeped a curse on me. Jit isn't get any ordinary curse. Yo manazuk get barely opened. And no it's trying to close BSE up. In a mahil used Mayan mana to fight at PPN. Do er gang to fu lay a blot slicing through yo spine. But do can teach it. Rate. Oh you and do? The neck execnar. I excrain echoed through the entire ra. Whoa. Oh the hell. Addition away also CTTP gat nas Gilin cat the spell. His consciousness delved give into Ronan's menazuk. Slowly prying at Pismanazuk. The resistance is lot than I expected. So it's panning Kion if we keep Jit up. I think Jitio and BF is on. Suddenly, a surge of reddish-black magic struck. Guywing couldn't ate it, but tendrils of GAC magic began to envelop him. Get as he looked up. He ex a pair of murderous AI. Staring him how. Oat is Jit? How CCT Zamanthan lay Jit the inside Chomnek angst. His consciousness Erten Ronan away incinerated. BSE and Reality immediately stopped the spell. But, yet, GAC clung to him relentlessly. Guy quickly cat a spell to blat it out. He always sent flying dozens of meters BS. Then, he spat a mouthful that the bleeding wouldn't stop. It always lay up damn happers not only did the bleeding worsen, but his bogey began to convulse. Lauren and the others rushed F to Hip, but Giwen ignored him. And immediately began chanting PPN. As the Eok left his lips, the Madwand Exen began to glow. Ronan remembered Jit magic. Varis Imaloa to the spell Elizabeth Yusk. A mom later, a massive mouth sucked him inside. In yacht explit execna secret, in his patch, sensed, Zamanthan Abides suddenly burst through the co. What happened to him? By then, Ronan the others, Ulas standing before him, seeing Gi Win coughing a blep. Secret didn't even up to Zai hello, he immediately went to check on him. Diving kept coughing blood, and Ronan rate key. It empty Secret on ku, if it always related to Ronan's curse. Ronan, did God change his mana into Yoboji? Int? He's a CT unlock the mana zook sealed inside me. So he did Zamanthan, reckless. I think a pad of yo curse might have u transferred to Giwin. Jit is an extremely evil seeker izali hayu urdu. Oching Gaywen bleed, Seker Breka, into a can sweat. If Jit kip up, Goan is gang to Kai. Ronan felt the uval of intense guilt. Stu are saying prophet so Giwin yuing convict of my curse. I'm in if he doesn't got treated zun. Yet, might happen, thank goodness. It hasn't taken Giproot yet. Ronan, got Ragi fo combat. As Zun as Hazake, Ronan excitedly gripped his zout. So, are we breaking the curse? No. Sekret didn't respond, focusing entirely on his spell. The Nak Exekna, a mantide manx to flew, Alv Giwin. Sekret snatched it off the and quickly threw it to Ronan. Ronan reacted instantly, drawing his zout in a fluff. Salve X to unsheathing Ranga and the manx to Oa Seviret in slash. By the time Ronan sheathed his block, the thing Oa chopped to pieces. Then it dissolved into act. Elishan hurried Eve to check Guyan's injuries. Thank do. Secret. Do's view my lay. Hots bicked. Do MTA quetch if the curse had seeped any deeper. Ki would have u been no you I tundu bifo. Rate. About ya exton. His curse is incredibly severe. It's unlike anything they've ever shin. Damn. So ya manx to Oa the curse, apt to dealing the manx to Ronan ren ev to check on Guing. Prophet so Giwin, do okay. And thanks to do. Yeah, Oa key the Aperian, it's the facts to Taimu if such an absurd curse exist. You'll lay MTB an 8-man. In any KNT, I kept my promise, alright? Ronan looked at Sekret in disbelief. Can do check on Ronan's condition? Secret then glanced at Ronan. How magic is actually flowing through Rona's boji. I can't believe it. Though it's weak. His mana circuits a ppn. Ronan, did you have Uzmon break the curse recently, or maybe do fell into a pit of cursed AI? No, then team thin lay ya, haha. For some reason. The curse blocking yo mana circuits hall weakened, at jit vari mum. Extranju peo is eroding the blow. Lay you in and wrong weathering a giant banku. Of course. Yo curse is xdu trying to xdu mana how, but bictav jit unknown peo. Engai widening those circuits. It be so easy to close hemanimu. Ronan away overjoyed to hijit. Jitmin I can use magic no. Theoretically, int. But it'll chichi taimu bifo do can use get freely. Bict curse is x do fate and foe contra. But if do tran every k. Though the neck 20 years I'll be able to mat to it. Hearing, 20 years, Ronan felt his hat sink. Odi do talking about 20 years how can I on d all on? Secret explained patiently. Oejit is an incredible chanzio. It x2 mt be overcome through specific tranin. Besides, jit method, unt in danger yo lay. Hots Biwen spoke up. Yes, a ue to shorten yacht time it depends on yo effort and resolve. If do use the tranin method I developed. Apt to a mom Biwen prepared to cat agam. Continuing to ppn Ronan's manazuk, listen closely Ronan. Do have uvari lit, mana rate no. The mana circuits do get opened. A much narrower than those of ace but a u lane jit tranin method. And keep expending him. Yo circuits, you and eventually be able to hand significantly ma mana. Jit also depends on yo and tone. It should teach you about 5 years, apt to yacht period. Do should be able to use magic. Get lay everyone else. Ronan oa x to a bit unhappy hearing. Fi you'll I'll guy my mana. To a cheap do zen the pat of yo end circuits. Jit is risky. But it's neat possible. Oe the curse is temporarily doomed and profit so. Then, let's begin. As he finished hatred and pain exploded through Ronan's entire body. Jit training method is hit fern bict. Do have to manage it, Ronan and viewer the pain listening. The voice you selected does support item magic as Mathis has pithos rehathrases yuch to this oppressed foe so long a likely on the vagayo of breaking. In the fuge, they'll need to replenish him valiant a hat my mana carved, bit by bit. Then yo magic and finally become yo strength. Oh, do understand what I'm saying? Ain't, I understand? I'll try and make some fun. Rate apt to he spoke. Waves of ret mana began gathering around Ronan. Go and oe stunned. Oat, and Lee guided him on. And he's already memorized it. Is his comprehension and contra really heatic strang huh? I got ya bastard huh and a ringtown is get hip, fern. It's a get thing do learn so quickly. I'm nevu cheng yacht curse agan. Whenever do havu taimu, repeat jit every k. Apt to Ronan trace the circuit's own. Thin wisps of ret mala appeared in his palm. Is jit my mana? If finally me t a reen breakthrough. I'm changing. Constantly breaking aoi far my past BSE then, I couldn't even imagine having magic. No, jit is enough. Thank you so much. Profit so, I finally got all a yo fees so high. Get, as Ronan away celebrating, a weakened Giwen collapse agan. Profit so, but he forced himself up on maw. He reached and grabbed Ronan's hand, trembling. Ronan if solved yo problem. So please keep your promise too. Ronan looked at the frail Giwen and rushed to expect him. I understand, but please teach k of Yaksub faxed my bogey doesn't matter. Oh it's more important is ya I have Uzmon to zoo even if I have to sacrifice my I'll do it gladly. So please give me the rin no. Ronan frowned as he watched Gi Wen struggle despite his severe Zimlay had completely LST haze pushing himself to hat. Newly so impulsive and reckless. The LSE lay his Rix Oka requires dine my friend. How much longer you and do lay chen to the bond of the Patazine shifts? The three of hem xtgp turns to Guy Magihat says we need to hurry. The nearest clinic to Ronan Eka Ami is at Lexiong High. If we run key, we can MC chi it in 5 minutes but get as they bought to rat. They found the MDGT held by Xvardojim's Mox. The locks, sealed edition stared at a magically sealed keel, feeling completely helpless. Suddenly a hen reached far mbhain il agiwe. He whispered a Lee incantation, and then pointed toward the BS. Do should go BSE yacht. Ya mom later. A co materialized on the realizing the co let the wrong. A confused Ronan immediately corrected him. Prophet so Giwen. Hat's not the rate co. The co do need to ppn is the own the mad but Giwen insisted on heading how anyway. I'm gang how to be my ragia. Ronan looked at him in confusion on maw. In the end, Ronan followed him through the co, descending the GAC narrow staircase. They reached the basement. The gruesome zate before him left Ronan and Adishan in shock. Ki ik piles of dissected limb, chicken ton of everything iatif and blun, surrounded ike. Luck as though she had been asleep solo ages is it ho is sway sun oat were seeing, yat seems likely Adishan. Kip an AI on H fo aim I'm going to jet anything useful here. Understood. Rona scanned the room. Ki ate countless bizarre objects. Along traces of megachanics performed on the remains of monsters. It obvious at a glance. Jit no ordinary Perman. Suddenly Hanks the tout unbach on the Jian. He stole a quetch glance at Giwin. Prophet so Giwin. What exactly is he trying to do? Rona slowly opened the Jian. I'm nearly finished. Get a leak longer, Shinya. Fortunately, I preserved H bo gib the foe the decay sees a vessel fodia as long as it's kept intact. I truly believe. Yet I can though MRY Sania, BSC Tele. Ki is no precedent foes that's that or resurrection that gave up. Chizue the rack of my struggle to zoo, resurrection attempt 54. Even the ogre hat farm the Nam Bligmac failed to UCC. I'm restructuring my schedule of prioritized day experiments. But I've reached the limit fo apps resurrection attempt 76, due to my repeated absences. The Madia Deo ha fired without a Zilari. I can't continue my works. I need a U2 MC Chimeni. Headmaster Felian's A-chip. IOA offered a professorship. I've moved Shinya to the basement of Dale's Arding Chua I am a prophet so here. I had teaching idiots, but I have no choice. It's the Li Yui to fam I attempts 81, 96, attempt 101. Attempts 115, 130. My experiments X2 aren't progressing. No Ronan understood he needed me. The materials in Jeet basement aren't easy to see him by. Its impact's about to got him through normal means. So OA of Ritha and Hey did I actually jiffle a Hugh type biffo my regression. Pip who bet of Rithan on LPP, they go map fo it. Hot's own Ronan thought of thin ZMON lay yacht, retrasub side OA tucked into the mubby ented zate. The problem is, MT Pip Ilihache ZMON uses yo weakness to approach a thing I MT except a high you the devil. Ronan picked up the ret zoo cake. Kippen thought. CCT jet suspicious let to also be far of those devils? Kit then, Q and Koei do him. Do didn't my thin? Ronan looked at him. Kioa long silence, of course not. IOA get top if Kioa needs I can use magic yes he H up Duraka I wouldn't understand in looking at anyway. Quietly Ronan took the ret and slipped it into his pocket. The scene shifts. On a GAC winding it inside a certain tave. Lap 2 echoed for Yeon's MIT hit him zung, he seemed hesitant. But it's only a matter of time move bifo bit hayu to you and crave the blit, ATXN, NLEL Matu can provide it, how amusing. Yap man, go win. You and eventually destroyed Hayamanisi foe the shriven by LPP, so foolish and that. The voice you selected does Yana no owing Zalins Amiglan searchly only get up rehab horns and switch to either voice. And a mysterious envelope bifo hey CCTP in it. Guy questioned him, as you didn't my Lethazi Ronan looked at him. Maintaining a long silence, of course not. Hearing those oct, got a sigh of relief. Enduring the pain he took the rin fought as TOE later, going returned the rin. Ronan looked at it suspicion. It didn't zim any hip fern. I ton do ideally extract it. The mana urting the rin is massive to begin things to do. If overcome if I know where to see my la neck he pierman, MT have ubing kia shock. TOA my lot rizit please kip jitted zikrit. Ronan rubbed his head awkwardly. Of course a not own to metal. NLSC faux trouble. Seeing him agree, Gavrin offered a exp thanks. He then promised a diation. Il lesi into yo problem I know he is an unusual mana, in yobot everything settled. The two of them headed home. Ichk busy key and thoughts on the UEBSE. Ronan looked at the Zukwake headman guide to Tichi. Prophet so Gwyn. He couldn't be inventor yabi thought he slowly opened the lead to he. The PPHEOA blank, Zu fo ishing as Ronan hesitated. The stain transformed and surged outward. Ronan watched in disbelief, the bolts hovered in might. Suddenly it burst apart. Forming a precise, intricate pattern, Jit. Jit is a letu written by a vampire. A void behind him answered. Ronan turned around. To feign Ophelia standing key, I sensed the magic of the blet. So I came to investigate. I didn't expect to feign do here. It's been a OE. To avoid drawing a tankson. They headed BSE to the clap you. It startled me. Ophelia. Du left Cetafol Rix Ekaji, and I had an HT farm Dusen. I assumed Du Ugbaz. How is your Rix a king? It is, thanks to Sita. Event he significant problem. I taught him some blot magic in written. Hayes even more gipt than I imagined. Da'll be shocked. The neck timu du zai mida yui. How did you got a bledu? A blood letu du minjit pphe. Ophelia explained patiently. A blood letu is a basic film of blood magic. It compresses information into a shing herb of blood. Then patio use cam fo communicixen. If do infuse it mana leji, do can zai the hikam mot sagio. The mit sagio surface. If do seek the blood atxen. Then cm to me. Blood furrow, bolt atxen. Yet oa own of mentioned in the prophet's Hyori, so those devils are a nebula. Hat's a relief in a ue. But who is jit blifuro? Ophelia didn't zem surprised at thee, so it's blifuro. Are they the ones behind it? You do know him? Blifuro is a new MGT of vampire owned 100 years in. There get a bunch of immature they own to restore the vampire ogno and they'll do anything hooty to got key. However, it's exchange you. They zem to have a zimem rare even among outside. Blood atxen. Can do temi hu jit led ronas olamortho, hesitant to give an answer. He didn't own to grick others into jit. If he happened to agree to key demands? Het so. Hey, ukjet henan up nits in thin. Apshut a long silence. Rona spoke up softly. Jit came faram prophet so Joden's lap. Ophelia felt a knot in H's stomach. A do topi of Archmage who left the Magia Deo? An Archmage? Is he really yacht famous? Definitely, even the vampire know him. Besides, he's one of the few elites to reach yacht Lavin, yacht powerful. Then taking Adabluck groove should be easy. And hey CCT get teachy the ZCTVTX in it, but if it's the bloat ATX and Hayes apt to, the situation changes. It's magic distilled Urton vampire, a substance forged through few days use bolt magic faux ages. It channels incredible bolt, ungi, unchizoe, ipeo is so immense. But without a vampire hot or Bledgic to activate it. It's get a useless rec. The voice you selected does not outpork wop language. Getting the ease he had to the right corner to switch to another to the prophet so had no choice. He had to accept key demands. And, I can go they asked foe. Ronan didn't own Joden in danger. An idea began to teach he shape. A mom later, Ophelia handed Ronan a grand potion. IMT the transfiguration potion do. It lasts at least 30 minutes. Dal LSC exactly lay prophet sojo does a lot long. But it's extremely effective. It should fun bolt grooves AI. It's a ST yunch, but thank do. I do see Udu can go Alan. They might LSC dang, but they've lived foe at least as in Churi. I know Durex strang, but it's safer if I seem along. Ronan immediately refused. No nit, Phaeton and Sai woodenly. Peeped do in a difficult position. Hanwari, LB Fang, though I can zai the same foe him. At the stroke of midnight, Philman stood gat at a cave entrance. A figure slowly approached him. The Lex bullet slave candidate, is he a Joden rate? He's supposed to be an archmage, but I han fu any magic farm him. Hunt, L, he went hoto. Earth is out zen, nabirak, greetings, adu Joden. I am but I han zai yo matu. Hayes waiting inside, Wudu main removing yo hot. We need to verify yo identity. A disguised Ronan stared at him. He slowly pulled BS his hutchet enough? Int, thank you for cooperating, ex-Joden. Il el Liui. The block-haired man eyed Ronan's out. I saw he owe a magi is he carrying a long sword. Biffo he seats he give it, and Ronan closed the lid stand. I do lucking foe janners extry I get. Rona's blot oa. The block-haired man oa sliced into Bifo the ACA vampao CCT react. They seviret in zout wounds. By the time Ronan stopped, the vampire in pieces. The sixth-haired man watched in horror. Durnot Joden. Biffo he CT timu. Ronan grabbed him. He slammed him into the groin, starting no. Li answer ats let's do zone to be a kebab. The scene shifts. Ronan headed deeper into the cave. Ki no traps along the yacht. Vampire surprisingly if I z known, I might have spared him. But they and Bion regam the Jip Plaxa felt exchange you. The patterns and the atmosphere felt strangely familiar. Lay head shin him somewhere biffo. Suddenly the stench of blot hit him. Ki more important than no, a foul stench seeping through the co. Oh the hell did they doing Ki? He CCT fu even through the thitch co. Rona slowly pushed the kopi bazant before him away horrifying, the vampire feasting. A bland man X calmly in the Zentu. Oh, you've arrived? It empty have you been a long, tiring Gianni, Oncom Joden? I am the Liu of both Groove and Asafa. Apologies for the mess. Do are later than expected, as do can she where itin do haven't hat hinu yet. Do are oncom to gi us. Ronan always shocked, but he quickly regained his composure. He no signs of lay left. It oa to LGT2's view of him, he had to fict on his mixon. No thanks, ill pat. It's a bit nauseating. The ACA Vampao glared at him. Here for the book, ATXen, so, oda yo terms. I think you've already guessed. Do MT sign a block of, yo lay is the pry of a contract. Do MT become own of us? Yat is mine Li Gim. Get as he thought, yo terms are ridiculous. Do own to turn me into a slave, my dear it's a pity do zayat yat yui. Jit is a generous offer. An opportunity to transcend yo mortal coil. To gain honor by on yo wildest crim, will you and bring glory to all clan. To achieve yacht, we MT over the pacifist and gap. I'm offering Dua Chan, to be at the forefront of Hit Ori. As a glorious warrior, do you in fate foe our revival? Oh, do Zai, isn't Jit an unthinkable honor foe a Hyaman? I haunt know about honor, but do an unimaginably insane. I understand, as a mere Hyaman, I'll rang Vision MTB hat to grasp, no matter, get no Jit. Rate no, Jit is yot nishot at the ATXN. I guarantee it, if Jit Hayu fun through, don't if you got yo hem on it. It's a rare trejua, even foe my sigh. Judging by the MTN here, if I refuse? Do Ham plan on letting me LIP? Precisely. Anastafa snapped his fingers. The ACA Vampao moved lately quickly surrounding him. Jit should a cheap do decide. Haunt even thin about do's note as the mana flux, haven't do. I prepared Jit specifically foe do, an inescapable trap matter how skilled do a, as long as do or Hyaman yo magic is useless here, no yat we CM Jit. Tichi yo taimu anthen do wouldn't own yo precious y to become a mere blee se would do and surely do haunt own to an abacop rate no, accept the contract. It'll unbf zun, Ronan gave a thin smile, do bastards, really thought of I almost sell fo it. No sooner had he spoke and Anastafa's Aiwa went unzet his disguise. Do or not drilled in. Gui do, how did a Hyaman got in here? Befo the Vampio CCT react. Ronan MT his MUV. Amidst the flight of X2, Ronan walked right through him. How did I got in? Gee, it even matter. X'd up and haunt him UV. Do mosquito bastards. 2A's the K do kai. Anastafa shrieked in a frenzy. Who the hell a do? A lowly Hyaman? How he do before he finished. Ronan vanished. By the time Anastafa realized, Ronan oe rate in his fey. Anastafa stared in disbelief. Did he? Before he CT finish. Anastafa tried to counterspell but his hand oe already gone. But Ronan didn't X-stop key. He unleashed a flurry of strikes, apt to a few zoop flashes. Anastafa's limbs, completely severed. Ronan Zoa no muxi. Anastafa spat out a mouthful of blood. He shrieked in pure hatred, but he rhymed defiant. Barking at arrogantly, do filthy Hyaman, do thin jit, do's am duer a king of here ally. Ronan delivered a brutal backhand. Anastafa oe sent flying. He slammed hat ag in the XDF tifo a bit. El Hayu do in X at the ACA Vampapa watch, completely stunned. Kiliu hat been dismantled in an angst. Hayes no ordinary high, got him an of do, the Vampio swarmed him. Ronan glanced at the mech kidda. Of course they used blood as weapons. In an instant, the Vampio swarmed him and at a bull curse. The grom beneath Ronan's fit instantly turned into a bloodkeep his vil trapped. Ak him no oe Hayes stuck. Ronan parried every shank strike. As they closed in, Ronan Hiru his outwarded fight in Ert's lethal foot. A few others tried to ambush him far at Ert a zoop curved design. Ronan effortlessly sliced cleanly in hap. The Vampio gave him no room to breathe. His movements incredibly he really oe as quechini elusidensims he oe yacht annoying hill apt to reattaching key limbs. The Vampio and the waited foe the PPN schmably shot. In a flet, a bolt of bolt shot straight at Ronan. Jit Magic Impeo rivaled even an ultimate Magia. So Jit is the true strength of the block it has the KNT. Get as the long-haired vampire lunged at him. Before anyone realized it, T had OA split in two, a few sap cracks of suppression. The swarming vampire hacked into pieces. In the blend of an AI, Rona had almost finished PP yet entire group of arrogant the vile Del leading the vampire Kamenka terrified and utterly confused. How can Jeep be happening? Oe, inside a magic Ixen, you humans shouldn't be able to ends Oe my magic hat, his limbs bound. How CCT hey X do Emmys the men even Hyaman? Seeing him dazed, Ronan mocked him. Li do left? Oe do get standing Hyoi aren't do attacking me. You'll preparation Oe thorough, but I'm Xery. Both my zout, nia bit unique. Biffo his CT finit. Ronan plunged his zout into the blot pam. The vampire Kamunka, Oe horrified. Rona's zout Oe actually draining the blot pam right. Facing such a mangstu, he turned to flee. But Ronan wasn't about to let him go. In the end he couldn't ATK Ronan's grasp. Ronan glanced to BSE. Aptu confirming on the vampire eliminated. He calmly walked out. Ronan looked at Anit, who Oe writhing in pain Aptu losing. A sinister expression suddenly crossed his face. No. Ens havu a proper chat. Anat the Liu of the GURP. Oe barely conscious, but he felt a sap stinging sensation in his thigh. Edu finally awake. I Oe actually worried. I thought do jat. Anat x the blot in his thigh. Hey Oe buying toyed by a high of Rithan else. Oe na yacht brief mum. Yo friend aren't doing so on. They keep regenerating so I can't get. I have to finish him the properly. If do hunt on to en blay him. I aim as polite en his ev the blay txn. But Jit plan Oe doomed to fail. Ote do doing, can do really evu him? So, Ronan Oe puzzled by that sudden outburst. Oh, Havadu finally ousty who do talking to, the opt-hat barely less own Ronan felt a terrifying Prasian being Otis Jit aura, a man appeared to can ruthless adventure and Pete make something. I'm tired XCGPSI. Ronan immediately dropped lay Oldsking on, own did he. If anything happens to yacht guy, the blood TRN is finished. How disappointing. Do promise the cow family a plaxa to see hum. Do spoke so eloquently, yet he had do chopped to pieces. Do fought too arrogant, not lie do pathetic, but do completely off and I tried to explain. But the man simply raised his hand. Yo plan failed. So I'm taking the blood, ATX and BS neg execnan, Anat's blood began flowing upward into the man's pam. Give me more chan, biffo he CTT Anat always sucked Rai in and fading into nothingness. His blood condensed into a shank herb. Ronan immediately shouted at him, hey. Do thin do can get CT in lands. The man turned to LSE at him confusion. If do the true owner of the ATXN, then do need to use to see yo arrogance is get lay his those intrinten oct. And if I refuse, Ronan Hru his zout and lunged at, then prepare for a beating. Get boy yo zout is sharper than an LSE. My bogey is reinforced by Blightig. Yet do men a guide to injure me. I think dur key a X-Paxon peep. I own coot gen. Odd ACA talents do have. I'll give do some X-Paxon A-chip so SME yo bet. Ronan always shocked. He didn't expect the man to block the strike barehanded. The man flicked his wrist. Enbla followed the Mex-Gen toward Ronan. Blade. As he spoke, the blood block grew and shot, speeding toward Ronan. Ronan quickly retreated X-Varge in meters, gripping his zout to block the impact. Then he sliced the blablot in two. But the man immediately released a bolt burst. Is it yacht same UV farm? Suddenly a massive column of U2 surged out. Oh the hell is yacht do came far MF key. Ronan questioned the vampire onmo. Gucci? If Navushin minithin legit. Kit, do not get neutralizing magic. Do are actually cutting through it. I didn't have high expectations fodu, but do I actually key intrintent to MTB the father us and so loud make kidda? X your mouth. Get hen ev the book, ATXN, Earthos oct, Ronan charged fout. Excellent ILPP yacht expirit. IUNSA do proper respect. Baked, do've given me some rena mom later. Countless drops of blood gathered in the man's henagon. He swung his arm ruthlessly. Suddenly a voice rang at Farambi. Everyone, exta hun fate nimu. As the oct echoed, a pup bim of lay descended far the sky, instantly blasting the ground apart. Both men jumped BSE. At yacht mum, a owe-hair Jean suddenly landed in front of Ronan. Is yacht do Ophelia? Hearing yacht familiar voice, the man stopped. He asked excitedly, is it really do Ophelia? It's been a long time though Jit isn't exactly a pleasant. Ronan Oe taken aback. Ophelia? Oh, he did do follow me here, and do actually know Jit. Ophelia had a serious expression, and he is the Savu, the vampire Anyun, the GCS strongest subordinate, Barzek. That's who he is. I never you thought I would ever do Agan and a Plaxalate. I truly missed do, Ophelia. Have do been on? Jit is such your own defun surprise. It's been 83 years. Did do see get fo Jit boy? Do those trifles really matter? I'm Xery, but I'm grateful to do Agan. As Barzak drew closer, Ophelia reached to stop him. Han cm any close oat happen yacht k is innate my can never forget. Barzak stopped in his tracks. He fell silent fo along, recalling the past. It oak of torrential rain. Barzak had been ordered to cure a gene. And yacht, Jian. Oa his unsensent a gip rip hat formed between the two che hat front. It sees you a neat much more time to earn your forgiveness. Ophelia Ryman's silent foe Emma. I know it oa unavoidable. Ki oa no eth it oa only you to extop my sister far and love harm gsc no. H main wasn't rate bsc then. It o is a she icky jest. But do mt also understand yacht, oat happen yacht is irreversible. I understand how to fu. Haunt worry. I came prepared fo jit. He han watched the two of them chat, feeling incredibly awkward. I haunt no oats ging on, but is it evno? Regardless. Oh yuck do aking the blood sippy hierchin I never do xananthan so childish as hanging around those kit or injecting him blood atiek. Barzak didn't answer. Instead he asked, do also havu business giwin? They own do no, I have only reason. He and I havu an unfinished duel. I happen to mit him in the oath of the I thought him a warrior's pride, in my lay. I have fought many extrangle but ni a few truly exception if the Shan hadn't see him up. It would have been the grad mock of my lay. By the time I looked fo him agon, he had vanished. I couldn't feign any traits of him apt to yacht. Onto Jizu recent tears. I always suppressing yacht insatiable thirst. Those Jilen came to my cat's en they claimed to have found Joden's whereabout. If I provided him a blot atia, they promised not only to bring him to me, but to turn him into Owen the Vodsai. So yet I CCT enjoy. I wasn't entirely high on key plan, but yet didn't matter to me. I only cared about the result and SDUX hit 08 and phone teen thin. And hot sun thanks to the Hyman boy beside do, even my pale restricted. Hey men a guy to keep up me. If ni fo a brief mom jit means yacht in 10 years. No, probably get fi. He UN undoubtedly become a true rival of mine is out to my throat. If Navu felt such a exchange you magic befo, it o a kia feast. However, yet time is not no. Looking at Ophelia, Belzak mt his gak sixen. I cannot bring makes and fun. Dezuidra age zinch agon. Shortly, Belzak had manifested a bled DTX in his pam. And tossed it to Ronan. Haya is the blood ATX and do want it. Ronan oe completely stunned. Do or get, 5 in it to me legit. Isn't jit incredibly precious to Vampio? And it is. MT Vampio CCT strive fo a lifetime. And nevu hope to obtain such an ATS. Consider jit a how payment fo my fuge. And a gip fo an friend. Ona haven't shen in 80 years. Ophelia stared at him blankly. Balzac focused his vision on ma. And a casual uvos 8 LSE tichia LS for yourselves. I sensed yatsame extranju pale. And voices came in farm be hang yacht. It'll be ticking my LIP. I hap yacht on we neck mitu and be much stronger. If do remain hyoman. It'll be fun more entertaining foamy. Ronan stood key dazed. Gee, he really havu too. Ronan then looked in the direction all's like hat pointed. Oat is deed extranju pale. The scene shifts. At Joden's cat san. Joden stared in shock at the blood ATXN in Ronan's hen. How did you have a blood ATXN? Ronan immediately handed it F to him. I do, really giving jit to me. Hearing jit, Ronan burst a laughing. Of course, I went through a lot to got yacht. If I do the story, they'll be floored. Overcome Erd's emotion Joden felt Vuvronas. Joden thought BSC on his past, his emotions growing even more and I am truly sincerely grateful looking at the breaking man before him. Ronan L and I see a grief. Dude didn't even give me a chance to brag about it. Meanwhile, outside the Katsan Onks, Balzac watched the scene unfold. Hinthanyu then dueling a Mary who, Hal St his ex-spirit. Ainli came he to my own rival Oe doing. So haunt worry. Ophelia. I ain't interfere any further. I know. Do are in the tape to do Ninithan dishonorable. I get wanted to Zai. Thank do Balzac. Thank do fo helping my friend. In jit mum of sincerity. Balzac felt yet a gaiben up the ATX and Oe own octa. Jit is significant progress fo a mere 83 years. I suppose I should thank Yat Ronim, Oe. Balzac muttered, I so I CCTXT by Yoshai but unfortunately I cannot. I am written, bict. Among the Vampio, an evil faction is stirring up trouble. Fram Oat, I know, they the ones who instigated the duel nip me. Please read ja, I you and Yuli be waiting fo Yosi. Ophelia. My eternal Ragia, as the oct left his lips. Balzac vanished into the night in a flurry of Ragia petals. The voice you selected does not run and hat the handlang village ATF please click F to dry the corner to Joding away on the voice tears by the gesture. Afterward, Joding used Xarant's magic and the bloat ATXN. to conduct his 144th P. Paramin. However, Doden's wife Zoen, no signs of waking. It seemed they would to meet to an sometime moo, but Foyant on had become his hub to keep living. Joden suddenly spoke up. Ronan, du fool hit firm farm we lot met. Key is a mysterious pale yet. Ha severed pat of yokers. Yomena ha become much more abundant. Did Zamanthan happen on do fought the bullet hook? Ronan rubbed the BSC of his head awkwardly. A lot of fin happen. I and go into the details. Ronan thought BSC carefully. I owe a licky. Apt to Balzac hat departed. Ronan hat entered the cave panning. The vampire pointed at Oejijidum difu so familiar. I think my hunch oa rate. Greeted his AIOA X10 mom. I couldn't believe it in a plaxalage. Ki oa actually a statue of Signal. It ora oa so own hicknus on ku those blood hook bastards navu found is jit the shy of an abandoned temp. As Ronan approached the statue, a sudden burst of lay erupted. Sking on, streams of grinmala began converging on Ronan. Jit as the ondi faram the statue used to be flowing into my bogey. Ronan stood to full emamna, zun, and the mana hat transferred into him. Joden grabbed Ronan's hand to examine him closely. I haunt know exactly happen. But do it unbelievably leaky. Thanks to yacht surge of Angi, yo mena circuits havu expanded, though don't need to convert it slowly. To mcchi yacht mana truly yo en do havu funma magic at yo disposal now. I shouldn't net to tend do can fu at yoksep can't do. Int using mana feels much smoother than befo. So, Jijitmin, I'll be able to use proper enchantments no, rather than get raw magic. The scene shifts. At the clap bun, Ronan received a messagio faram shilifin, the monsters around ManhWa. Inexplicable friend. Fortunately, it hasn't reached yo hometown yet. The Grancho family ha already sent knights to handle it. But I'm too worried. Bikt of the Niu I received Dijigmanen. Witnesses reported seeing a wyvern soaring in the mountain skies. Ronan always startled. A wyvern those Hicksbit flyers. Earth the razor sap fangs and claw. Even Topsha mercenaries are terrified of him. And if it's a pack of hum. We can't guarantee yo sister's XP. We need to head at immediately. Shulifin, Oe as anxious as a cat on a hot tin. His plans for Ronan's sister's MUV hat been delayed. They zet PP at own, and foke later. They reached the outskirts of ManhWa. Townspeople busy packing key thin to flee. Fully armed Imperial soldiers, Kara patrolling. Ronan and the others arrived on the scene. Get as do zate Shulifin, key MT be a wyvern arki. Shulifin, Oe fuming. I absolutely cannot forgive him. How key they ruin Irel's moving plans. IOA supposed to ZH Zun. Hunt worry. Dull BZFU Zun. I'm going to wipe all every Meng's do in Jizu Mountain. Ronan Oa, speechless. X stop grumbling. Ellen's X split up. Do go Tichi command of the knights. Assel NIU and Falabi hang do. Und, Oa do staying be hang. Zamanthan abot jeet is extranger. I need to investigate. And get bicked. Hana do he try new then unless do have legend irkso. Shulifin's fey turned bright red instantly. As seduce H, how can do Zizamanthan so absurd? I am a nigh of Brancha. But fain if do MT investigate, yes, no helping it. The longer aim delayed, the more danger Iril is in as a nigh. I cannot add IP Allah his XP to Chan. I'm heading Afax to. Shulifin dismounted without looking and charged straight at Ronan looked on Ert and Mitch of a no hassle asked Ronan curiously. Do Zaid Zinamthan Oa exchange you? Oh exactly, is it? Peaceful monsters suddenly gang on a rampage. And massive monsters starting to SA up. Han Duthan. He feels very familiar. Olaming Kabagaxia. The two-headed ogre and Yat elf, they on the UCC of those bastards. The realization hit Asalay a bull Soduthes Nebula is the mastermind behind Jet his own. It's get a got phono. Hots Oe we need to scout the area. The voice you selected does not support this language. Tan imida another language are switching for the Himas in the Ramallah Mountains. A massive swarm of goblins and ogres had gathered. Get no. We've secured contra Eva and surface monsters in Jit region, though it truly is a pity. If not Folo Valen's orders. I would have dealt those heathens personally, but can we do? Jizueti orders of Auzunto be new executor. Suddenly, an ogrel GTRA lay, guttural is it? Oats gotten into him, LSC they're afraid. Hots impatsiba, how can they few owing hu ao contra? A reklau emanated from the jong. Then a massive silhouette emerged. A terrifying aura washed ev him. The man always startled. Yat, massive scimitar. Jeho cloaked to jepluk oi tig. How is Jit possible? So Jit is you dupe and hiding. How did you manage it? Biffo he CT finishes then Tiger's claws already at his throat. Biffo he CT even react, a grip away already around his high in the E. The Oi Tig pinned him how effortlessly. The surrounding goblins terrified. Without giving him a momteria, the Tig lashed a shank. The goblins met key, and instantly, even those too scared to sa key fixo, the Han Li get begun. The voice you selected does nasal follow dronem esc to this clay the upper right column they revitagene of the Ilmanra Mountains. They X2 guards, blocking the path. Everyone, halt. Li authorized personnel a allowed to enters the cat's engine. Please Tichieno wrote, otherwise unreiki. Juzua the orders of the Elite Imperium Kamenka. The troops heading out to Hayu or Onronan HT, Elite Imperium Kamenka. The hesitated foe among the Elite Imperium Kamenka. UGT CCT B. The former Kamenka of the Imperial elites. The Liman to ever defeat in the bureaus. Zepha, the strongest Zout Zen in the MPO. If the Zout Zen is here in Piaxtra, situation MTB dire. The Empire's MT Elite unit wouldn't deploy Git foe a few monsters. LSC lay IOA rates the main UTB in Van in Jit. Got the main B Gan Rargi. The voice you select we did not Gilvian endless out the foray. Please click the upper right quam to have blue out of rails. Behain the Ziddy Onks. A wyvern streaked past that high expeth. A magic XN glowed on it hat. A Umian OE, X'd upon it BSE, directly ahead of Uktima wyverns. Oat happen? ILST contact my bra on the gron. I tell him to be fully prepared. OCCT have you gone wrong? If hot's the KNT, I need to teach ECC Angeli. Jit plan centers around the wyverns. If I hunt written zun, the plan Yuan lies a memenma, would be a magia parable. Plan fails. Valen Yuan nevio for divus. Well, stick to the origin wrote phono. My job is to keep the wyverns niku contra. I can't LGT and anything else to on the gron. Ronan and his companion watched the three behemoths. Finally found him. Understood, X. Ellen's MUV. The L-int wyvern suddenly sensed Zimamthan Oa wrong. A explit execnator Kibogi Oa struck I a massive banku. The main, in O hadn't even noticed you the Rot King Faram. You did Yatsiam Faram on the brawn. Assel continued his incantation. He watched intently as the neck mummin unfolded. He clenched his fist tight. The voice you selected does not support the massive banku sesame fixa oda right corn chapters wings to how on the wyverns. A regiat shy. Who CCTB controlling it? It had to be Ziamo Infar and the Atopsha Mavia CCT do suddenly a blur streaked past. B AI widened in disbelief. Ronan hat somehow leaped a B the wyvern. Jit hide as PB inch. Taimo to tep the reen enchantment. A surge of ret mana fin the lamunka. Jit feels incredible. Kai do manx too. As Ronan swung his blot. A magic drainings out you instantly sliced the massive wyvern in two. Jit is even stronger than I imagined. The pale Enrangio A octopart faram an unenchanted strike. The in OE turned pale, urged shock. She CCT Lee as the defenseless wyvern plummeted. How CCD Jit happen? Zemanthan Jit Bick. How CCT it go unnoticed in the show might not know. But I'm a lick around here. Do buzzing around lay an annoying fly, so I had to swat do how. Do stupid bastards. The hid Britted H teeth. Do absolute bastard, she away on the vagayo of tears. Before she CT finish H she felt a sudden, sap severing, she looked how? NX Ronan hat severed H Cattenhen, oh exery. I not in the MT foyo nonsense, so I had to teach yo hen. He stared in horror, agony exploded through H entire boji. Do lunatic. My hen. Ronan ignored H. Instead he taunted H OAUE2 is LSE lay dur get, a lol, yes no you do CCT havu pikatimo lay do? Or a do then li own. Scene H Hangon H main went blank. She began to sob uncontrollably. It hurts my poor hand. I knit a healer, Ronan Zoan no muxi. Countless villages of Endorval you complaining of do. X-top crying and answer do bastards. Oat else do plenty choked BSEH tears. I am chosen by the XTA. Dal gotten ten fenfa filthy hyaman. Do thin ID root as zunajani thin orson to mixin. Ichmana began to dissipate basri. Oda do doing? trying to fund Zamanthan get as Ronan away as Aluva silently behind him. Suddenly, it dived. It streaked toward Ronan. Ronan finally noticed it. Araganix vajantai larger hadid it, and to know. Oa it hiding 10,000 meters up, hots oa I couldn't zen it. Who's key? Kai do pests. The strongest Ragan I work so had to contra the Ragan, oa no close. It opened it massive maw. My precious. Swallow him whole, hey foe threat blade duja is how it ends. Ronan had nowhere to hide far but and later. A flight of BLGT Ragan instantly explit and those stunned. Paralyzed by oat they get around the Zentu of the bisegua Sao Hingman a Crexum blot appeared, looking closer. It oe tig beats his ferocious gaze. Mt the ninha oiduhia tremble. Zepha? Hearing Yut and Ronan grew tense, he turned to Lusty closely. So Jit is out Zen Zepha, Jit away the fex to Taimu Ronan hat shin him, Yut massive powerful physique, those sap claws. Ronan away in awe of Zepha at Fues Henlik Henlsi. Due to bastards? Then he lashed the strike left fly razor's ap e currents, seemingly tearing the e itself apart. Ronan always stunned. Such powerful shockwaves, biffo anyone CCT react defy currents. Shredded the wyvern beneath him, he didn't even use out. Get his claws. The wyverns remained scattered avrio at yacht mum. Ronan felt Zemanthan of Lashud Flora here to the front of him. Then a flay of lay streaked through the sky, slamming into the ground. As the dust settled, Zepha had the and Oe Ronan his Oe Bine held firmly by the throat, both completely helpless. Answer me carefully, boy. I han smell Yatman Eganizixon on do, who a do? Ronan Ryman stubborn. Who a do calling a cat, damn it. Who do thin, do a lumping me in earth those scumbags. I do lucking to Kai, Zepha Oe puzzled, he hadn't expected such a rixa. Lm me how, lm me go, as Zun as he spoke, Ronan swung his zout. Zepha get watched, as the powerful zout, Ongi, struck him hetan. Ronan Oe sent flying dozens of meters, shit, I didn't thin the gap would be chit hyuji, I thought head block it. But he get took a hetan? No onku hey bit naburos. Even without fate in him. I know I can you in. Yeah, terrifying aura is suffocating. But I can't give up. I knit to feign and pound fo him to lot his gat. Zepha looked at Ronan a gram expression. Doof GGT guts, Ronan bracka into a cane sul. Do you expect me to get unto Kai? Zepha looked intrigued, eyeing Ronan as he toyed his scimitar. Razio's out kit. Kip yo ai fern and zentu. I'm kamen at duhatten. Zepha raised his scimitar. Try and blauk jet. The mom he spoke, the blot flashed. Zepha swung his zout downward. Ronan struggled to trick the simple yet lethal strike. To tat Ronan's limits, zout zen Zepha raised his mundrinker bill, launched an assault. Tried to block me. The oct hat barely left, only the X2 gleamed. Zepha brought the BLGT. How? Ronan watched helplessly as the simple, deadly blade descended. Duv GGT some skill, kit. I can't believe do actually parried yet UV do used earlier. It's familiar, it's Gitley an end friend of mine. A do Neberos apprentice? Ronan listened, a focused expression. Hots rate in farm filian akaami. Ronan hunt temi do on to. Become my junio? Exari bahata hat now. Those who prey on the weak and innocent are an oncome in my exit. Ronan quickly backed PPAXTGP. Do understand. The skirns out Zem mused. Do certainly GGT some nerve. Truly a disciple of Nibiros. If my greeting away too aggressive, then I apologize. But usually, a fist is opt 1,000 opt. If Dur a warrior, Do should understand yet. Rate, hearing Jet Ronan, gave a respectful nod. Is yacht how it is? As the opt fell, Ronan lunged fout lay a bolt. He blurred Rate in front of Zepha. Then please, accept my greeting. Do damn cat. Get then. To beastman lep far am the Brit. A massive claw appeared biffo Ronan. Thanks. It simultaneously effortlessly blocked Ronan's strike. Suddenly his throat always seized. Are they Impiran elites? The werewolf who parried the act asked. Who is Jitkit? Kamanka as he pat of Nebula too? The dim-witted red beamman replied confidently. "Do idiot, isn't it obvious? He RDMTA UV on the Kamenka. We should teach she care of Jit Brat ourselves." Without hesitation, the beamman gripped Ronan tight and hurled him out Bertfoot. Aptu spinning through the E. Ronan drove his zout and grabbed the hilt to steady himself. Biffo he catches breath. The beamman attacked Agon. A massive, powered-up claw swiped at him, but it split executor. Ronan vanished farms 8. The claw's knee met MTE. The beamman hesitated. Li to feign Ronan already behind him, looking at Ronan's intense gaze, to be realized TOA no mere amateur. He immediately DGT serious, in the niche of Tai Mu. Two blades pressed Agon key throats, both of do, X-stop. The void belonged to a long-haired female beastman. The two froze instantly, acting on Yuan without orders. Get out do thin do or doing? Betty a do lucking foe disciplinary CCN. Seeing him stand how? Zepha strolled Evan explained, X-Dayo hen Betty. Yeah, Kit isn't the enemy. It oa get his ton to give me a greeting. Betty oa instantly mortified. Oat, Giatmian. Jit Kit actually fended PP yo at. We haunt even have an adult. Who can do oat he get did. How is yacht possible? Biffo he CTT finish, Zepha CT hem PP. But it's the trite. He did it. And Hayes Nabaros disciple to boot. At the mention of Nibiros, Betty nearly jumped off his skin. Oh, Nibiros? Do min yacht manx to farm Biffo yo time the on who on by himself wiped entire unit. Nibiros. Yacht lunatic. Crossing him would be an 8 May. Betty began to tremble at the thought. He quickly grabbed Ronan's Hennard a forced grin. X-ray about yacht, Kit. If DGT a bit of a temper. Sometimes Jizu thing get happen. CCT do maybe not tend him about 2A, oching his sudden changio of hat. Ronan realized how much Deek B hat suffered nuku him. On the spectacle OAE vigzefa GGT how to isn't it? Nemya, if dur here, it means the geop is done. The voice you selected does not support this language as PA Yol Ward lives up right here to also which other voice yet Re also apprehended X-Varge as suspicious get as she finished. A group of burly men leapt for AVP. Ronan Oi taken aback. Seconds later, rows of peculiar beastmen lined up before him. Ronan, allow me to introduce Mixon Fen. I am Zepha Kamenka of the Empyrean Elite. I've received orders far am the Impeo to eliminate the Nebula spies hit Kan Erten. Jizu man at the vanguard of the ZX-Ju unit. The rod of the CX-Ju patty is on the SEA Shai Gip in the Ramallah Mountains. On the streets of XEN Teton, soldiers stood in rigid formation. A crowd gathered, drawn by the commotion. The locals whispered to Oiwood and Army CN to Santella. The GN at the fern of the lay looked panicked. I X2 hunt understand oats happening. Can do explain G to me? Ronan's friend, Sulithim, walked Ev slowly. I apologize Phil Starling do. My lahith. If prepared a gurp of knife, though you immediate protection. Please forgive my intrusion. I arrived without prior and teach. My N is Sulithan. I am a nigh of the Impeo. Sulithan grew impassioned. He spoke Gip sincerity. Helahi. I swear on the N of how Grancha. Yet, I unt caught do safely to the kill. May we assist do in packing your bags? The voice you selected does Rona as always is selling by Zepha's awfully the appearance the average unit to switch to another voice. Head Nevi HT of such a unit before his regression. Is it big to I captured those nebula memb? Did I chanjo the course of hit or do the MPO need get crick jit? But then he thought about it. They actually peeped his out Zena Zepha at the fern of jit foot. Talk about overkill. X2 on Kuchin nagged at Ronan. He turned to Zepha and asked, did you feign those bastards in disguise? Fam oath, I know, that taboos regarding the Ganazaxon's Nen no longer affect him. Do no more than I expected. Did Nibiros 10 do yet too? A voice suddenly interrupted him. Ronan. Yat voy. Assel, what are you doing here? A werewolf. Oa Hinwin, a krillidai the scruff of his neck. Assel looked pitifully at Ronan fo Achip. Jit Kit Oa wandering around nearby. Sub picked him up fo the time Mubine. Do we cure him? Kamanka, he ant X stop whining. Hey skive me a headache. Mr. Own I already tin do. I oa get lucking foe my friend. Please haunt it me, is he yo friend? Ronan buried his fay in his hen, embarrassed. Yeah, by nightfall. The unit brought on the suspicious pip they'd CCT. Namia reported the interrogation results to Zepha. They controlling the lek monsters to cause chaos in the area. But, yat oa get a smoke a hearing tag it seems to be the Montan Pat. The Mountain Pat. Yeah, mean he true gun is the Ramallah Mountain Racked. Rona stared ahead, grimfist. The Ramallah Mountain Racked. A vital artery foe the Impeo. A third of the impious Rixex passed through it. The voice you selected does not if your plaslang away destroyed. Please clean a damage wartler of the voice would cull up instantly. So hotso those rats lay up to. They to Yuska the monster to sabotage Yelp passage. Seeing the nervous fay of the Hain in Oe, the ever-observant Ronan gripped his out. As she the setblot. Slowly drawing closer, she tensed up. Te doing, knowing Zimenthan Oe fish. Ronan pointed his out at each throat. Yacht racked is important, Sue. But it's also heavily guarded. Do thin a few monsters enough. To teach ye how a plax a lay yacht. If do own to kipiola ibtux that talking, te do hiding, the a lisife, amc but aptu closings harry chayat, she bracka into a wide smile. Do thin were afraid of jaint? Do filthy infidel. As soon as she finished that blinding lay radiated far away by Ronan's expectation, the bastards ease destructing magic. But inningst. The Angi coalesced into a glowing oak. Gert xta, though we to weak and fail to complete the tic I promised, then we shall offer up all souls. Blow Jesu filthy bastards to pieces. The crowd simply watched indecently a voice echo through the Who dares desecrate the extas as the voice faded? The magic XV they had gathered instantly exploded. The flate of the blat reached the hat of the mountain. Niku the trees, a few pip watched the into. Thin they pushed Al Brock. To MCG such a NTB sacrifice. How unfortunate to leak such precious believers. Ordinary followers can exop hemno. We MT by Taimu to Hayu Zafa's Valen. Capturing Zafa is too difficult right no. Perhaps we should try NOK no. Yat would need give him more Taimu to prepare would Li MCG Ao sacred mix Nahaka to achieve. We cannot afford any more delays. Even if JIT isn't the focal point. Elens began the deployment immediately. Biffo he see teat finish. The in-man pressed the detonator into the ground. Punish those filthy non-believers. Execna later centered on the detonator. A magic XN instantly formed. It rapidly absorbed the surrounding Nena. JIT detonator, OA crafted by the Gert inventor Aliber. It's a masterpiece hand-carved 30 layers of magic. It draws Mana far the Layli Uinat as a catalyst amplifying those 30 layers of math. The Angi released Uin reduced JIT aria to at. We getting it to Pritch JIT Hivai. Kip it hit confirm the enemy. Onto it ha absorbed enough magic. Unzi, the two behind him grew excited upon hearing JIT. Ulno Asia, a former Magya, of the Magya Dale. And the ACA, the former Kamenka of the Saran Knights. Even Valen. As far as I know, JIT Mixon is complete. Do and be appointed as the Luliel and Bridgias branch. Jit Minduv received the Gert. Hots rate, normally. The tradition is to receive Gert Aptu by an officially appointed, but since JIT Mixton requires Peo Fo Protuxin from the explosion, the merciful XTA granted me JIT honor in Ativan. Of course, my Peo cannot compare to Bridgias. But JIT strength? No matter what happens, I can easily handle it. Get, then, a massive claw slammed How. Valen didn't expect him to be so fat. He immediately waved his hand to Cactus and sip magic gathered in his hand instantly, forming a solid protective barrier. The incoming act tore the Gran into 3. Valenoa X2 in disbelief. Do actually use the demonic gathering in the Zukinapoinjit location? Owen it hattonly get to absorb Mena? Hots almost impassible. How did do fang me? Swordmaster Zafa. Did do really thin do escaped mine teach? Them the mom nizef fat in Ramallah. I already knew yo location. I oa get waiting to zai o da do in the a prey blinded by arrogance and ignorance. But Valen didn't sa few. Instead he gave a sinister smile. No, LGTMO do struggle on to do kai. The voice you selected does not Zatha found Valen and his men is please click the upper right corner to see Lanchu in Apple immediately. Valen quickly cat a hipang sip spell. Looking at the aftermath of the clash, Valen Oa struck by the Shia terror of his Peo, he didn't even use magic. He tore through my shoe raw physic and strength. I had HT of his reputexin. But seeing him too, he's even more formidable than the Runk's I didn't expect I'd face such a heavy hitter so zun. Brock, can do hun him PP? The two replied in firm unison. Of course, foe the descent of the XDA we are willing to give of Rithan. No sooner had they spoken than Mondiaja cat his spell, he placed a buff on the traitor nigh Ivan. Instantly, Ivan's strength multiplied, Zafa simply Ryman unfazed. A high night in a ManhWa comp. If I had brought my troops along, du might have been get pricked for him. But Jit as I'd have dreamed of. Fate in the Empire's strongest swordsman. As a warrior, Ki is no greater honor. A casual swipe, Zephyr intercepted Ki Ak, but the two didn't stop Ki. Instead they launched a Mavayog assault. Esnia Zepha's legendary swordsmanship. If we defeat Du, it means, if earned honor equal to Yo N. Before his boasting ended, Zephyr crushed the sapblot his bare hand. Even stared in tapped in disbelief. How is Jeet possible? Jit is the gap between us. A backhand of honor? How can Zmon who realize Jeet's eyes such thin? As he spoke, a lightning hat figure blurred past. Ivan's hat hit the ground. Hun tarnished the dignity of a warrior, seeing the buffed even killed instantly. The Magya behind him paled in terror. Before his CTT react, his bogey OA torn in two. Panicked, Valen scrambled to catmatch, generating Anno Hipangsip Ixen, but Zephyr didn't stop. He delivered a powerful Bekich, slamming it into Valen's Barayu. But Jit Taimu, the magic Ixen, didn't break. Zephyr stopped to observe. No onkudu LSC familiar. So du been hiding in Dit cult. F 10 years age, in the gon of the Haute Vilt. Kioa a wanted man, he murdered thousands or Gixi magic experiments. He vanished without a trace afterward, yet, fugitive OA known as the Butcher of Haute Vilt, his NOA Valen. I'm honored. I can't believe the Swordmaster knows my N. However, if Lonson's cat aside my past XC, no, I'm simply a believer in the XDA. Before he CCT even finish. Zephyr stomped on the magic XN Agon. I couldn't care less about yet. Cracks immediately appeared. Seconds later it shattered. Valen OA taken aback own Agon, regardless. My target remains stew. As Zephyr's claw reached foe his throat. Valen's expression rhymed Kane. Instead he broke into a manic laugh. The blitzen of the scars in the neck had bit. Valen unleashed a terrifying blick Peo, surging directly at Zephyr. Zephyr OA instantly blown BSE. As expected of Zephyr, even the followers I carefully chose couldn't stop Du. Oshakan shows get how hard it is to defeat Du. But even foe Du. Yes, no penetrating Jit immense. Pale. How is Jit in man so heavy? Seeing Zephyr stoic expression, Valen grew smug Agon. Oh du thin, you'll fax to Alessi at the girt, XTA, Zephyr. Temi, how Jiet, fu, as a believer. I'm genuinely Kyrit. Zephyr couldn't chi anymore. He's et him pp immediately. Du thin we're playing some GM. Outside of daydream is Jeet, Duran Lee fit fo janked, a prey blinded by the absurd. On Zephyr finished pp the two lackeys. Valen started laughing. Seizing the opportunity, Zephyr instantly infused his Kraxen blot magic, and swung it decisively, seeing Jit, thou used the hit him granted by the XDA. Zephyr's strike seemed rargy to cleave the sky. It crashed mercilessly toward Valen. Seconds later, the BLGT Angve left a massive fissure in the ground. On the smoke finally cleared, Valen's magic shoe OAX2 intact. Looking at the massive rip behind him, a two ran how Valen's spine. If not foe the X's bold sin, I would have been done for habit to blocking the hit. Valen became arrogant on ma, how irritating, even the Swordmaster's ek. Agon the X's bold sin, isn't thin no than a parlor trick, so no ma tricks up yo sleeve. Zephyr, the magic bomb is X2 absorbing mana. Do my X2 have Utaimu to run? The voice you selected does not support this language. The others you invited the upper right corner, so switch to another voice. Staring at the unscathed Valen, Zephyr recalled Ronan's Oct, the X's blow thin. Grand immunity to end magic. It seems to be true. Without a proper plan, Jit Void Realm you and surely threaten the MPO. Ellen Zyget, how much Ongdi he can nullify. The neck mum. Zephyr cloaked himself in even more powerful magic. Inside the shoe, Valen felt a sudden dread. Zephyr launched, No Ak. Seeing Jit, Valen frantically reinforced his magic shoe. How pathetic. A bit dares to defy the XDA. Zephyr's rage reached a boiling point. But suddenly, a voice shouted, at du Krazi. Zephyr stop no. At Jit rate. Dull destroy the whole mountain before the bomb explodes. And dull cure innocence too. Hearing Ronan's own in, Zephyr slowly came to a halt. Dun Li get arrived slower than I expected. Huh, it occurred you or get terrifyingly fat anyway? If do truly possess the X's bolt sin, then lip the rart to me. No matter how extrang do aren't in any condition to handle jit Taimu is run in a. So X stop being so stubborn. Seeing Lorn and Tichi charge, Jia Yufa had no choice but to silently agree. Valen Oe stunned. Jit brat actually dared to spitch to the Zhao Zhen. Ya, who on ed is he? Lornan walked ev slowly. And man, thanks to do shouting so loud, I finally figured I didn't need to disable the detonator inside. Yeah, you and ruin your entire plan. Rate, by the UE. Do the mastermind be Hain and Jit, and Nan? Considering do can use the X does bloat sin. I'm guessing do the lot Taimu I took Aude Elmun the X display it oe a man named Brigio. However, you had Zim lay even hap the throt, he oe Imam Nakvan, HTV and Brigio. He flew into a violent rage, so it oe do not Saran. How ki do insult Brigio's mamari? Yo filthy tongue. Ilm siege do uxo do of object hath barely left own ex-vargin monsters lunged far volens boji. Lorn and Oe slightly surprised. How cct a brat such weak mana ever hope to him the holy Brigia? Do mt be lying. Temi who really killed him. As he spoke, ex-vargin Mangstu, hot, snapped at Lornan. Lornan el ent, a ken snort, if do haunt believe then other than do Perion, a idel neskik seknum. Lornan dodged the hat, lay a flying aura, and charged straight at Valen. Oe Valen Oe X to taunting him. Lornan Oe already rate in front of him, to have who such strength at yo why. I suppose you aren't getting but even ya isn't enough. Biffo he ct finish. Valen Oe suddenly severe at, in Zoutwoon. Biffo he cct even react. His vogie hat been torn to pieces. Ya, madman didn't believe me at facts too either. Is jit answer get enough fo do? As the young man fell, he couldn't believe a boy CT bypassed the X's blow sin. A peo yacht transcends the low of the onion. The merc oe shattered. I frule of Shinji, Bifo. It's lay the aura the captain. Who exactly is he? Lornan immediately followed up Ertz Onos had him. Yavduan Jit saves a lot of trouble. It stops him far. Mzef destructing laid those besides Yeda. There's buying key aggressively. That's true. We should be careful. Unfortunately, I couldn't break through his blow sin get no. If I CC fate him all not Taimu, I might feign a weakness. Lornan always speechless. If I'll and do kit fidget whole plaques. You and Tul Jia Yifa looked incredibly embarrassed. Alright, I'll try agan own. Yes, an opportunity. I do own jit Taimu. If do ever nit get in, lem me him, ain't. I you and do everything and I'll provide whatever do need in the impious means. Really, then listen up. I knit extrang pip lay do. Basin shifts to a mountain pat. You rows of cavalry, Ativan in formation. Schlief and Fallak closely behane, escorting Ilya to the Imperial capitan. It's been surprisingly quiet on the racked. I thought we'd have route to fate some monsters. Yet, Lahi in the carriage. How important is she? To thin she needs a Grenchen Nifo Protuxant. On, I'm not entirely Sue, but it's Klaya? Yacht she is very important to the dang that's nearby. Schlieffen immediately turned red. Ilya gave a XEMT smile. Schlieffen quickly tried to act composed. MIT Ilya. It's Alon Jiaoni. If you're uncomfortable, please tell me. We reach the Necton. I can arrange a more comfortable carriage for do. No ni arsh. It's already more comfortable than my own home. Do've been right wing on. Do MTB exhausted. If do hunt main. Do CCTG me inside the carriage. Hearing Jit Schlieffen away overjoyed. Haha, I DLPP too. But as he turned around, his face turned bright red. I'm Mexery. I can't do yacht. I am currently on a very important mixin. Biffo he CTT finished. The horses and Fern suddenly grew agitated. Schlieffen had to calm him Halifax too. I Zen's Amanthan approaching. The Prasian is massive. Units prepare fallback can. Assure the law his XP at end cost. As soon as he gave the Schlieffen charged Faut. Foe the pride of Grancha. Foe the honor of Grancha. Schlieffen knew it yacht mum. Yet, key opponent wasn't get a Ragnolfnert. But Demanthan dozens of time a dangerous, yet, Schlieffen charged in without a hint of few. On he ex huit oa. Jiayifa's massive block, already swinging toward him. Schlieffen quickly raised his out to block. The two colliding ongi exploded instantly. Everyone always shocked by the Shapeo. How many more surprises in Exiveo Tuelong about do? But it seems they underestimated Yosuke oppressive do truly a raising XDO of the Mbe. If the neck is out Zen is Heilman. You and definitely be Ona of do too. Mr. Jaifa. Yad voy. Lornan, Nixo ucc schliefen. Or he had to be se do up. Hunt worry about oak get happen. I brought plenty of achip. Lornan pointed behind him. A group of powerful orcs stood Ragi. Schliefen away stunned. A few K later they arrived safely at the cabin. Ilya looked at H. Neoham in disbelief. It's so luxurious, is Jit really foamy? Lornan burst out laughing. Sister, how many tai do ging to H. Remio cc do lay here? Seeing Jit, Schliefen immediately tried to impress H. If customized Jizu decorations get fodu, if do hunt lay hem, get zai so. And il chanjohe overwhelmed gratitude, Ilya took Schlieffen's hand. I help EP him. It feels lay livin' in a fairy tale. Thank do so much, Mr. Schlieffen. And do too, Lornan. Il cc fo do both sometime. Lornan get smiled. Oe Schlieffen looked absolutely smitten. Get then. Footsteps approached Farum outside. Suddenly shouted, explain Yaksa. Do too league bit. Odi do doing here. Oats gang on. It turns out Naburos and Gia Yifa hat run into Gitche. Both oak lay powder kegs. About to explode. Prophet so Naburos. Mr. Gia Yifa. Gia Yifa oe to fax do to spitch. Naburos. It's been a long time. Yo temper is as foul as ever. Can do really teach students lay yot? Naburos frowned deeply. How I teach is none of yo business. Do hun, bilum here. So please lip. Lick bit. Yo tongue is x2 as sep as ever, but yo skern strength. Do really have you the right to be so arrogant? It seems do forgotten oat defeat feels lay. Hunt do remember, own I been took yo title as Aldzen? Neberos I widened in shock. Fury instantly surged through. A powerful aura erupted far whether qualified or not, while feign in a fate. The orcs behang him, fast. I can't MUV my bulgy, it feels lame paralyzed. It oe Nibros overwhelming aura, it felt as if a massive tidal uvo, oe behang H. Star, Inji how Jiaifa is she trying to paralyze, she's even stronger than Biffo. How intrentin. Thane, El Enstujit, the mom he finished X-biking Jiaifa released his massive aura. Zattering Neberos contra. The two powerful forces clashed and exploded. I do too insane, standing right in front of my Jeant. I do trying to destroy my new home. Ilya grabbed the fear at Lornan. Do have you any idea who lives if my sister got even a shang scratch? Big Tivjit, il have you yoha? Hearing Jit, the two of them finally calmed how. Lornan stepped up to him. Honestly, due to acting late she warn. Yo petty bickering. Almost kazu a disaster. Do realize ot ct victav yo tension? Ot a headache. Apt to hearing Lornan's, Anjia Yufa oa the fax due to apologize. I just lays contra a bit. I shouldn't have lent H provocation got to me. I apologize for my recklessness. Nibiru's oa x to glaring at him indignantly. Own since the MUV went smoothly. It's about time I had all. I have do grown even stronger. The next time we I get a vi Lornan. As soon as he finished Expa and his troops vanished instantly. Ronan Eland, a sigh of relief. Aptuan, those to tageg aa tatin powder keg, by the Ui prophet so Nabiros. Oye do here, but I yat mum. Nebiros rage oa reaching a boiling point. Ronan dud btu explain. How on ye do know yacht bastard. Msichi a to me raten. Ronan oa terrified, acting lay own behaved kitten. The scene shifts. To Ronan's Neo how. You Ronan explained every detail to him. I sheet so hot's how it is. As a riafo o do did in the Ramala Mountains, yat bit helped do muvi yo fin. It seems he really likes do. I nev you imagine head do such a thing fo, a hyaman, yeah, own. Hot's basically oat happen, but it's bat if do honk crude paths ert him agan. Yeah, bit is dangerous oat do min. 10 years ag during the Gert hyaman invasion. The Nan region oa thrown into chaos it oa enkazu by those bit, and Kiliu oa zefa. Nuke the coup ended through negotiations. And those bit became Imperial soldiers. Him serving as the impious sharpest blot. Ix2 can't bring makes and fun to trap him. BSE then, Zefa didn't fate the Empeo to the inn. Instead he came Alan to negotiate. He claimed that egg willing to serve the impious UN, but in Shakan. Be Empeo oa forbidden's far and Tinan, the emperor thought highly of his strength. And accepted his proposal based on a covenant. No, many of the impious elites have Uja. I'm afraid they'll become a threat to the Empeo later on. Fo no, Hayes get protecting his subordinates. Kippin his claws hit Ken Fo the mom. If Yacht Covenant is ever breaken, his threat UN be greater than any ACA. Yacht is Zepha's true background. Hearing Jit Ronan Braka ah and a can sweat, no Yacht do mention it, in the ku agana heyud biffo I regressed. Zepha away nowhere to be shen. Of course, he might have been lay SEA powerful warrior eliminated in Zegrit, but I can't rue ACA possibility. I almost forgot I really came here. So do say earlier true. Can do actually used mana freely no? Ronan gave a firm nod. Though it's do weak compared to yours. It seems Yacht useless bastard Joden can actually do Zementhan rate foe age Yacht Nibiru stood up immediately. Alright, then, lens x tat yo lesson rate no. Me how much do've improved? Hunt get, explit, it you skill major instead. Intrant yos and release as zal blat, I understand, rate then. Ronan took an offensive stance. A faint ret mana radiating far his bogey. Without even blinking, he swung the blot jonfly, in the neck angst. A powerful ret zout blat formed in the E, surging toward the tranning dummy, but get as it reached the target. It simply vanished into thinny. Ronan always slightly taken aback. Nibiru's watched calmly, as if he had expected G outcome. Yacht shouldn't be possible. Yet if you I killed a wyvern a mana blat profit so. LME try again, but Nibiru stopped him. It's exactly as I thought. Jit is a significant XTDP fa and do can finally change mana. Into Yozao do haven't mastered it yet. Moreover a bict of Yokers currently using a tiny fraction of mana in Yacht Zen. Do should be capable of much more pay lay on do CT how Yacht Wyvern and the voice you selected is yields exactly the same as Bifo to me. Please click the upper right corner. I get nit with you and Ajawa too, but my strength rate. I knew dud thing Yacht. Viewing magic as thing more than a pow-up to high massive damage to an enemy is an incredibly shallow perspective. The true payo of magic is how it pays the UE to the neck lavin. Hots I asked fo as blat, I had to zai yo skur an understanding of magic. To zai you do need to improve. Though do succeeded agan the wyvern. Do mt understand look yum the do fov. Onk, it unb the hip fern between lay and so, starting no, we're going to fix yo flaws. Yat is in here. To dot stronger, we mt xtat the mt bakes Zadira snatched the zout farm Ronan's hen. He held Lamenka and closed his AI in fict. Ronan looked at him confused. Prophet so, did do teaching but the zout didn't unfo an answer. The varinek exagna Lamenka and Nibiros hen. Erupted and even ma into and pio magic and ungi. Ronan watched the scene in shock. LSE closely. Ronan, Jit is the true fim of Lamenka. Ronan x2 in disbelief. Jit is a true fim. Jit is a proper enchantment by resonating spirit the magic is infused. It finally releases it true, immense payo, lay my Yerusa, or juicy granches pale pat. Famous swords cry it by Matthew Craftsman, 10-2. Hide key true potential. The ream value of a weapon. Lay in revealing it hit can strength, it becomes X-Vargent high stronger own unchant Nibiru's Zate. Swinging Lamanka lightly. Yacht a mass Fisher instantly explit the Gron. Matu Dorn's 8 head MT a masterpiece. It seems he wasn't lying. Rona stood key for reason. Prophet so, the field trailing Vrutchan reinforced magic. Yet do exploit isly own hit. I tried to infuse my magic. I can't preheat Yacht Sai of Peo. Hot spicked, yo mana lavin, is too late. Lamanka simply cannot resonate do. Azout knows it met that. Ronan looked at the blot resolve. He had found his net gun. So you should I extat. Prophet so, and gang to sa jet rude bastard. Exactly outside of bastard his matu is, I lay Yacht attitude. Yo mana is weak, and it duration is st. Well begin by training yo mana retention. Ronan immediately released his mana. But in less than 10 seconds he struggling. Apt to a fun K of Tranin, he CCT Hunnit Fo 48 seconds. Every K apt to a maw of the same. 3K later, he reached 1 minute 32 seconds. 5K later, 2 minutes 12 seconds. Finally, apt to 2 weeks, Ronez CCT maintain his mana Fo 13 minutes. Though MT Pip, Jit as a feat Yacht takes years to matu. No, maintaining Yacht, ext. Same Yozao Blat, remember of Rithan I Tundu. By no, Ronan no longer felt the strain. He relaxed and focused and see his mana hat become Fama Xtabe. Then a lay Zion. A zout blat, accompanied by a gust of youth, flew toward the dummies. The mom Ronan sheathed his zout. The hut of every dummy oxlized pp. Oh, did you thin profit so? Not bad, rate excellent, I can fu yo true intent no. Int, the ma I tren. The ma I can fu it. Staying focused on mana retention helps me understand the sensation. More importantly, it's making me realize yet how much potential my innate mana ha. It seems to finally understand the basics. Kit, as he finished exlavoi, interrupted him, overworking your students. Those unusual teaching methods of yours, as atrocious as ever. Do our reen scoundrel, exery to interrupt do oi do are busy, but can do expia a mom? I have a zemempthan urgent to tend do, it's about yo precious disciple. As Zun as Joden found the bureaus in a hurry, the gears of fate began to ten. If you're talking about my disciple, it MTB about his mana, right? As do know, Ronan's constitution is very unique, so he needs regular checkups. Is yacht the excuse to use to blackmail him? How despicable, if hot's the KNT. It's not lay yacht. Com hafo exegnum, we're not mercenaries Nemu. Peeped yo's out how, am he a bict of a promise. Bict Ronan gave me hope. Shenia who had been completely now showing signs of lay. Oh, Shenia? Int, she is. Yes, extue lon ui to go. But I hap thel cmn's ih, she knew he liked yo adventu xt wire, but Rona's KNT isn't the priority rate no, it's about yo exixtent addition. Ot about h, int, at Ronan's reeked. If been looking into h situation foki some time uno. I'm not entirely certain yet, but if my theory is correct. Yacht chai is in danger, she ha a peo yacht is hat to contra. Do my havu already real is danger lurking be hang yacht peo, it's bet to kib h close to do. Bic, the she, Bitho Joden CTT finish. Naburo CT hem PP. Had's enough, Joden. Mike Sixton is nit thin lay do zai, so haunt go jumping to conclusions about HVUge. Joden fell silent. Unrate, well. The kit decide foe himself, apt to hearing Gaian's oct to bureaus turned out in silence. The CCT seems pretty angry, and do mention mercenaries earlier. Due to mercenaries BSE in the K, yeah, about 10 years AG. We both key famous in the Zhao. Yet, OA to fax to Taimu. I met Nibiru. We both had contracts to teach ich. El Nave you forget it yet. Ohea, Nibiru's OA leva incarnation. Of Jane to Yat, Sigh of Terror is by on Oct. Compared to then, haste much more hiaman no. No doubt about it, I lesti completely Yat K. IOA beaten to Erton of his friend Shania hadn't Zvumi. I'd be jet already, during yet Taimu. Xenia's ket and devotion really moved me. We fell madly in LPP and eventually TGT mer. The bureaus visited me often. And if Taimu, we became close friend, but yes a reason. Owing the bureaus hates me so much is bict I failed to pritch Shania. Hayes kept my zikrit, unjit Taimu, even Shania couldn't have a menegai without him. I believe if I can bring Shania BS. Nibiru's you and forgive me. Despite his can exterior. Hey ha a vari on ha. A few K later, in the Aka Ami's GAC magic lap, Gun walked in Ronan Edizen. The darkness of the Plaxai took him by surprise. The reason I brought du here is dict of Jit magic, stand raid here. Jit is a mana extractor, the finest of its sai. It can fond the innate mana of a living bine. Tho Pip lay du an Edizen, who struggle bict, du can't use Gyo and Peo. Pip would spend a Fokun, Tho on session, Edizen, XTGP inside. It's time which is I to Peo Hikkun Erten du. Adu Ragi? Adizen, int. The voice you selected does not send Roy this language. Starting, please click as is on right corner of the suite. A surge of Luacimen slowly began to seep out of Aidson's bogey. Biffo Lon, Jit GAC on G Fen, the entire laboratory. Nuku, the influence of Jit Peo. The lab specimens miraculously began to MUV. Ronan's brow furrowed instantly. Unbelievable. She's already having an epoch without even trying. The High Kamenka far in my past lay, she ruled the battlefield as the Ira and Lahi. She possessed the mighty powerful and evil Peo in Hit Ori. Oching the changes in HN Boji, Adizen looked completely bewildered. Prophet so bewim. Oh tis Jit, oh is my mana Jit Kala. Yes, no doubt about it, Jit is definitely sa magic. Sa magic? I remember Ronan mentioning it before, but if Navu HT of magic lay Jit. Hot's normal. Sa magic is considered a teen AP XTGT Zikrit. Hot's it's so had to feign any Niu on it, but how did Ronan know about it? Ronan felt incredibly awkward. He quickly waved his hand dismissively. Ellen skip, ev the XEMT various hiet much mame. And began explaining Sadu magic to him. So magic is a peo yacht defies the very logic of reality. For those Sau magic, ki peo usually remains in a dormant XTGT. It might never be activated in a lifetime. Even if it is MT Kai Bict, they cannot contra it. Bict, Jit magic is fought and you and consume the main. A Shang lapse can trigger a X of rage, bringing disaster to everyone nearby. If do so, I can plax a shin on it. Yat yui yomena ant manifest. N. It you and suppress the negative effects of Sau magic. However, historically spiking, those bio Sau magic, are rarely able to contract he, peo. They almost knew it, MIT a tragic N, do X to own yacht sai of peo. Eddies and fell silent foe amom. Mamari flashed through H main. At jit mom shioa certain of H choi. Maybe it's the peo, nuke I'm terrified. Zmo and own ten me. Not to worry. And to get try my bet. I can't afford to be faint-hearted. Please, Prophet Soga win. Thane, I lay the lay in yo AI. Since duve empty yo gak sixen, Ellens begin. As Zun as he spoke, golly teeth the mana extractor. A crimson mana began to full of a deason. The hovering Hivai steadily absorbed HND. Prophet so jit familiar fill-in. Is it? We're extracting the mana duve built up so far. I suspect yacht no matter how hat do worked. Do couldn't keep up eo peers, Prophet so giwin. How did do know, lay I zate? Sir magic is a peo outside jit on's logic. Such peo and get hideawi patiently. Yosabu magic is clashing the mana duve worked to be you. Hots oat, hob and stunting you'll but the fict yat duve gathered jit, much is truly impressive. Got Ragi to zai goodbye to it. Od ya main? Thus Luxon is simple. Jisutuo Ongia constantly interfering. We MT eliminate on to Zvu the ACA. By leaving Li the Saul magic, yo problem yongi solved. Due to really a and intrin 10 pairs who can't accumulate mana, and on who can't got rid of it. And the extraction you in Tichi 5 years. Ronan looked incredibly awkward. Oeg Yat Sao is so familiar. Adisen? Yo mana is by and extracted. But it's Li temporary. On the extractor is turned PP. A UN written to yo bogey. At Yatmam Ronan step fout Prophet Sogi win, if Ki Oea Yui to remove the mana N at own, would Ki be shy effects? Lay an injury, probably not, but Oi do ATXC Vithogi win CCT respawn, Ronan swung his out directly. Aidzen's accumulated mana Oa slice clan in hap. Gom N Easen Uk completely stunned. Get Layat H mana vanished. Hot's much simpler. We can't afford to end 5 years, X second later. The suppressed Sau magic came pouring It owe many time terrifying them bifo. The Gert Haikamanka. Do finally, Adizan past Aelfarum the massive surge of Peo, of Rith and Wen Gas Omshi open Hei Agan, Ronan a calling HN. Ronan, OEMI X lippin on yo lap. Seeing yet Adizan Oa CFU, Ronan breathed a sigh of relief. The specimens in the laboratory went into a frenzy. The mom Shagizan watched the scene in shock. Oea the specimens acting so angry. It's bict of do. Bik kit dio origin mana vanished instantly. The Sao magic inside, do erupted briefly. Hots ot kazujit, congratulations. Adizan. Do succeeded, do might, fu a extrange sensation hots the Johans of the Sao magic. Do empty lane to, nat to jeet nu inhale, I fu kan havi no. Hots normal. It's a shaipak of the Manare move. No do can begin linning, how to awaken Yosawu magic. At jit point, Ronan interrupted the prophet so. We should quait him, how fax to. Elens alipi yacht tic to Adizan. Adizan do contend the specimens. To be quait. Give it a try. Adizan hesitated foe amamna. But she did as 10 and commanded him to be x2. As Zun as she spoke, the laboratory specimens seemed to understand H oct perfectly. They fell silent instantly. My goodness? Ronan get late duzate. They've quieted how? Oh, is jit some sigh of main contra ability? Guy no a slightly taken aback. Even simple contra requires massive mana and magic ton. But do did it a shing sentence. Jit peo might be more dangerous than we imagined. Li Ronan knew the trite. The high camming has true ability oa menton contra. Choosing a live and tag it. And imposing Yo Yuan upon him, If use can lifo teaching, it's an incredible UE to instruct others, but if do apply jit peo to an army, do can turn him into heartless pipit. Bifo I regressed. Own facing the giant invasion. The High Kamenka used jit ability without hesitation. Is jit really than Li Yue? High Kamenka. And it's the Li Yue to achieve victory. So do MT continue to fate. Onto the Vare lot mom, yat is on Li reason fo livin. In my past lay, she had no ACH what she had to lay as the Aaron Lehi. If we fei yat, same situation again? Ronan clenched his fists at the thought. Oh, can I do Tishanjio thin? Oh, Gek Sixen, you and the High Kamenka Mcichi. The Biotivin 10 pranked freshman, revered the Lus L and others bully him. Yit Ritan, oh, a soft own Ronan net, H, get a few KAG. Apt to a Dizen awakened H. Sao Yu at the laboratory, following close behind as they walked. Ronan offered his congratulations to A. Dishun. However, A. Dishun couldn't hide his growing contempt after witnessing such overwhelming pain. I'm terrified of oat might happen if it's ever abused. The thought of using it to contra others. Oat if on K. I x-dot doing whatever it takes to UN, even at the CCT of innocent life. I'm scared yacht, he'll eventually turn into a mangst. Ronan fell silent, processing his oct. Thifo I regressed. The rank coming has x strategy uk nui flawless, yet the soldiers in coup his contra uk x to sacrifice you. He owe the own who at the ovo laves time, so it's hatfo me to judge. Ronan, if yacht ever happens. UN do be key to X top. I honestly believe if yet mom never come and do a by my shy, I'll have you the strength to overcome it. Yet lay, I do rate no. Ronan's expression softening to a smile. Do tiny do hat no regrets apt to the activation succeeded. But if do really do lies kyo you, it don't be as simple as get pushing do keep a addition away taken a back foe ax a do actually serious. In the K yacht followed, Adiasham began his training Yiku Gaian's guidance at Fax 2, even controlling a Shing Binta, but through relentless pricktick, he eventually learned to command 5 birds at on. The rod of Ronan's clap mem born slacking PP there. Everyone away pushing themselves to the, including Sita. He had mastered Ativan Blat magic. NCCT no obliterate a magic dummy and a Shingophilia away stunned by how quickly he learned. I can't believe it. Do leak rascal. Do perfected the bloat Jazion Yovari Fax 2 try. Sita. Do MTB some sigh of Genit. Sita immediately beamed at pride. Huh. Oh, should I teach do neck? The blow blot? Or perhaps the blot yai. Meanwhile, Ronan Aang Shulifen up training more intensely than ever. The two sparred constantly to Zuhagatnabit Filsters. Do've been training behind my busiest Ethos Takhan do. Yo attacks havu become much more as I the prophet so gave do some X-backs and Tranin, but I'm extra stronger than do. Ronan fired BSC refusing to hakim trash. I'm the on who's stronger. Oching the two of hem back can it, Maria always speechless. They happen fate and foe out. Han they ever got tired, hurt yacht much ungi they should be on a battlefield. It's so boring get sitting here. Did you really think so? But how's exactly you, Rona's cam late. Han do agree? Cutie, int. Ronan is incredibly extra. Hazy Mon do can truly rely on. Everyone is bound to lazy Mon so talented. Looking at the shy and flustered Assel. Kedia burst, laughing. Oatsvert yacht Rickson. I do jealous? Assel door adorable, undoer key impressive Johan's hearing Maria's praise. Assel's brand completely circuited. Alright, Ellen's got started on our team coordination. Well, S.A. Ronan O or MT of in our neck duel, the scene shifts. In Prophet so Vinay pitch, Ronan stared at the tea in his hen. Jit te skit lay the tea sarance skami. Prophet so, it ilesi lay dude you successfully cultivated sarance tea. And I did. And I couldn't have done it without yo. If you hadn't brought those samples BS I wouldn't even have known G existed. It a bit of a challenge but we finally managed guy to grow it. Jit is ging to a chip so money pip in the faz yo claps for canti a visa. I own to SA maker at helping me clean up yatma. Seeing Jit, Ronan the LN Estravas grant and I expect you'll re-out to be key a surprise. Anambraka into a Ken sweat. Let's get movie on. The MDN reason I called do hit yai we finally received a Rickspawn. It's about a plaxa yacht might understand yo curse. The whole Magia Deo, they've officially approved yo visit. Ronan Owe instantly thrilled. Hot skirt. I can't unto got key. Haunt be so hasty. Do knit to be care Jizu. A turbulent tie we're living in. Ill arrange fo the teen AP magic freshman of G clap. To accompany do so do can the lessee AO fo. Hey later on the airship to the Hon Magia Deo. A biotiffin GNOA calmly enjoying H code do doing here, Ronan. So door the PX gen prophet so vanai mention. Long time no zai, Elizabeth. Or should I see do elegon? I tun do ni addition is allowed to see me yacht. Answer my kuchin facts too. Odi do doing at the home magia deo. Oea do even asking. I obviously have biznit at the deo. But do mixing it at Sakson. Oh, bisanet ct do ha oh what did do bring Ashel my situation is a bit complicated. I would have brought Ashel if he had the time. But he wanted to fict on his Tran and Maria. Warren Key A CA freshman Kaminal Oe do sitting he by Yoksep I get wanted some PYTN quit and Lee reason I can is bicked the home magia deo is Lajangari fo id file magic jit food trip opportunity. O ain Lee given to the teen AP 10 students in the class. I haunt havu nidithin in comma or all the others since duer clearly friendless we haunt we kib itcheg humpany off I'm in too. So yes even more reason for us to hang out. It's a pretty good offer rate. Elizabeth away absolutely flabbergasted by his oct. Hangea me. Who's hanging now? Too. I haunt need do. And so the airship sailed through the Clawfoil. The ACA students laughing and chatting. Elizabeth's AI. They get a bunch of mediocre slackers they should be spending yacht time studying magic instead. I can't stand buying around Piplay yacht. However, in Jidakami, aside for M80 do are probably even Lee Telm I actually repticize. Yo recent Pifiman hobbing key impressive, rate in front of everyone. Do took how ya, arrogant Trulafin, and helping Zout Zen Zafa Agan the cult. The Roy family ha surely HT of do by Nilt, even the Akaluja family ha. Oh, yeah, reminds own exactly do on replying to the invitation I sent months age. Do han thin my family is st on it is a rare opportunity. If Duji al Haon dul B Zetfo lay immediate Ronan always stunned. Oa jid really vikana Elizabeth oa talking his ear peepees as do brought it up. Can I atxcc duzan elite oa do lay addition so much. Oa do suddenly asking yacht? And get genuinely Kyrat Pitt might respect his hat UCC. But Adiation ha no netran to be honest, Hayes less yemdurus so fond of him. I get on to know do zizi manthin in him, others haunt. Elizabeth fell silent at the kuchin, it's obvious. My addition oa expaxen far the very beginning. I faxed I ride atili akhu oa the who zoe me the ui. He oa so and passionate we faxed met. Yo pifimen in the entrance exams oa incredible. Even seeing it my NAICCT hardly believe it during the freshman. And yet you are already so gipped. X3 I'm rambling again. Elizabeth wore a LSC of weary Razanak's hurt. She thought not Dzu boring compliments agan. Apt to those typical praises everyone would usually go on about my NTB bloodline. They clam Hatsu in my town, comes for leading everyone to believe, and my accomplishments? Simply the result of luck, gibict, IOABOA usage those excuses. To belittle and my hat uses footing Yatma and Shen's neck, oct warrant at enot she expected, at such a dang why, do MT havu worked incredibly hat I can't even begin to imagine it. It MT havu been so longly fodu Elizabeth always stunned into silence seeing H Reek son, Adishan Quifgorge Fatia CCT Nuvu fully understand how to fu, but if thin ever got to hat. Get CM fame me if do knit to talk, I might not be able to, but as Yoshinio, I can at least give do some advice. The excitement of Yacht K Ryman a precious mamari, I can't explain everything. But MT importantly, Adishinas get so beautiful Ronan Owe completely speaks laws, JC he is lay pusic. His elegant fay perfectly matches his slender frame, who CCT possibly compared to his beauty, Assel who always sitting nearby. Began to that geniuses lay him en Shulafin? Their tatin creeps, Ronan A. Lint, Evalon, however za H obsession might actually be useful to addition on K. Get then. Ronas sensed an immediate threat. Eli, grap yo wand. No time to explain. Quetch, Zemi mins kemin. Rona move lay a sudden gust of leaping ao instantly, he grabbed the stunned Elizabeth. Do jerk. Oh do thin door doing how ki do carry a lahi lay a sec of rye. Do havu absolutely no respect Ronan ignored him. Instead he asked solemnly, fax do yo telekinetic ability. It can a be a px generate. Here comes. The voice you selected does not do tasseleba I can lee zide fisa click the upper right blitwing second when massive fireball came hurling toward him. Elizabeth oa stunned. A fireball yot shy, always it moving so fat I hunt neat to tend do o to do. Rate, Lenia hen. Biffo the oct even left his Ronan charged toward the fireball. Elizabeth reacted instantly. Katna ex ped spell, invisible hen, suspended in might, Ronan, oa hoisted up by Elizabeth's magic, seizing the mom Ronan enchant his bilgt. As the zout swung how, arcs of Angi formed a oat around the fireball. Ronan followed up, AV taken the powerful strike sliced the fireball in two. Fragments of the blaza flew straight at him. Damn it, at jit rate. The XP is going to sink, but get as they reach the vessel. They intercepted by a counter-fireball. Ronan looked at H in surprise. Oh, it's yacht lussy. Too thin, I can't handle a few sparks. It Elizabeth's and fireball spell. A member of the Akalus, Elizabeth certainly wasn't a pushover. She continued H incantation, blocking every projectile aimed at the XP, truly an Akalusia. You are amazing, Iradra. The voice you selected does not yet Howard a whole mob yet deo click upper right kuliki tol hands to reaffluid in time shit uncome is a bit much, isn't it? Did Zimanthan happen? Get then. And GCA drifted farm the deo. Hello, can do hi me? Is everyone alright? We've confirmed, yacht, an anti-aircraft spell. OA accidentally fired farm out deo. Chit OA not our intention. It OA a completely unforeseen accident. We have to secure the area, so please. Land safely. We so to apologize and yes slain o transpire. The XP landed in the plaza app to the Metsagio. Elizabeth Ryman, expressionless, simply stating, oh no, the Figurd Mabia causing such a ridiculous incident. If key isn't a reasonable explanation, L5 a formal complaint through my family. I understand your anger, but L ends high him affects to. The prophet Sohat mentioned Bifo. Yet, the whole Magia deo have been unstable. They had rooted ex Vargini China whom Zev destructed upon Kapshk. Luckily, the mages unshy responded quickly, preventing any casualties. However, a fifth of the surrounding land, OALST. Looking at the XTGT of Jadeo is in a rap spot. T can't be a coincidence. I need to be careful. If I sign anything suspicious, I have to at immediately. The Deo Ko swung PPN. And a man in red robes rushed So X-rated kept waiting. I sincerely apologize for the earlier incident, the Matu Izawi. So I am the acting Matu. Philia seeing ya, nen. Ronan Oe taken aback. During the giant invasion, Philia had let the mages in a desperate hiffen. Zing-handedly, he summoned dozens of firebirds to fate. But the giant Siach immune to magic, and he fell apt to bystruck by Ki Lei. His mages uprooted Zun Aptu. Mitten him to I didn't expect him to be so humble. Let me explain all happen. We can't have many leads yet. But thing is certain. Yet massive fireball, OA launched using an Intin Hivai. As fo who OA responsible we are currently investigating, we you and havu ang so zun, fo no. The least we can do is compensate do for your losses while also tighten zixturity to ensure yo expedi. Philia gave a sincere bow. Again, my deepest apologies. Elizabeth watched in surprise. I can't believe Philia is actually apologizing. Kamen for him, I tread his Ronan nodded silently. Bicked, to stop the giant invasion, Philia had sacrificed his leg. He oa absolutely ziemosian yadi. Everyone oa satis. Philia walked F to Ronan. Do the ones who blocked the fireball. We are very grateful to do both. I can't believe Dor X2 students, as the acting Matu, do have my sincere thanks. Ronan, Elizabeth. Ronan pointed to himself in shock. Me? How did you know me? Reached me farm, Philian. Would do to follow me? I delay to essay my gratitude and share some na you? Or one of you followed him. A month later, Philia stopped. I'll give you a brief tour. Jit is the hat of the Hon Magia Deo. We conduct our Rixika. In the MDN Rixika High. Elizabeth's AI widened. She looked around. Oh, no, I understand. The Hon Magia Deo is own of the Gert Phi. Even the ones studying in the Lap B, a rank 4 mages or Haiyu. But they didn't zim very welcoming. The mages oak whispering among themselves. Did jit happen again? Is it big the Matu left? Everything gang on. Should we even allow outsiders in? Ziamo and haben mitsin fo we can't lend yacht information if jit leaks. We're in real trouble. Ronad frowned, zangxing the tension. Feels like we've walked into a mess. Can I really break my curse here? In the Shelif Jian Hinwin, a doll muttered to herself. I understand, Matu, as du commanded, you and lay some embers fo du. Cure the Akalusia. Shortly aptu, the two followed Philia to his peach. Ivht yo explanation, the acute en shin the ext of jip. I understand it away in accident, but I ex do hant understand own thing. We couldn't do react. To the fireball attack I the new skill, do should have been able to at. Lon the fo reached us, Philia stammered as he spoke. If we had shin it, we certainly would have acted. However, the Deo didn't even detect it. It doesn't any. The vote we noticed Zimanthan yacht bick, Ronan, if hot's true. Jit might be worse than we thought. Oh, did do min? If even a rank 7 ManhWa didn't unteach. Zmon Yusuke wider range of detection blocking spell. Lie rank 9, lay Crimson Thunder C, Crimson Thunder? The own who sealed the girt ape, in my past lay. Haste Nui Phaeton on the fern lay. So it definitely isn't him. But if the enemy is on his lavan, then we have a serious problem. Calm how do to? We haven't have enough evidence yet. And they might have used Gnamajikan means. Besides, we feign those threatening the Deo, ill been him to act. So haunt worry, Alan set, yat, I do ill do both, based on o eve ht about do. If prepared few thin, facts do foyo teen ap mac in the magic clap. El teach do fio magic do unfeign at filian, and ronan, I have zanenthan mol practican. IHD do often frequent dangerous places. Foyo clap activities, jit is a fine chand runic chem. It'll be useful in an emergency. I also know yo mdn gun here is to break your curse. In our library, do confane ract regarding it. Aldeo? The largest library in the MPO. It be easy to feign yacht specific BFC, to hib do AR. If ton the staff to kip an AI alpha to go straight to our hut librarian. By nightfall, Ronan arrived at the library. He looked at Sarence Rin, Gip and thought. Ion ku o the librarian. Is ging to be lay, since Sarence specifically ton me to feign him, he MTB trustworthy. If he's an friend of Sarence? He might even be an elf. Oh, I owe a ton head be here. A voice suddenly interrupted him. Excuse me, do the ex-son Ronan yacht the Matthew mentioned. He looked up and a stunningly beautiful. I'm the librarian. I'm here to be yo guy. My N is in. Nixoto MIT do. Shio 18 thin lay o Ronan hat imagined. Is Jit really Saren's friend? Get a of curiosity. A key any ACAL perhaps no elven librarian. No, I am the knee librarian here at the Deo of Hone. But we do ATXs. Ronan slowly opened his PAM. Then do recognize Jeet, right? The owner is a friend of mine. Hey, Zate the librarian here would recognize it instant. El leaned in a closer L. A second later, she flew rate AV. Jit is Sarence Rin. I haven't shen his belongings in so long, but how did you got Jit? Jit Rin is the menthan Sarent truly treasures. 'Tis a long story, seeing Rona's dismissive attitude. El's expression instantly turned menacing. Jit isn't Zamanthan he would give owie. The mom she spoke, a massive surge of ongi, erupted far him. Do happy to you answer me honestly. Ronan immediately gripped his Zao in a fen, it owe a giant own. If do hurt him to steal yet Rin. Iu and sa do no muck ix do haunt no. Ode his relationship Sarent is but thing is certain. Jit lovely, truly cares about Sarent. I'm Xri. El do may have misunderstood, if a complete stranger suddenly produced an ain friend's MT prize if Izashan Yoshu had you draw my Zao too. But if Dud let me finish, I can explain of Rithan. Ronan began to 10L. The story of how Asdumhilt Sarent. Sarent is an incredibly powerful elf. Ticking Ninathan far him by foot would be near night to how hearing Ronan El finally lowered H gap, and so Xri, I acted too impulsively. She then began to reminisce about the path. DSE before I always civilized, I used to terrorize villages. He owe the own who tamed me. From then on, he brought me to the Deo of Hone. He owe the neon who navu use fiof, Faya became a top shamagia of the Deo. Thanks to Saren's guidance, I owe able to become who I am. Sarent MTB vard busy rate, bit kin hundreds of years. Jit is the fax to taimu if HT. Ronan didn't know how to answer. But remembering yet Sarent didn't own those close to him to suffer. Ronan decided to hide the trike. Yeah, do know Sarent is a devout believer. So he might be had to reach foe AoE. Hayes X to his unzenful, yes, known it to work. Meanwhile, a BFC on the shelf, OA secretly oching Ev. Ronan spent the next 3k scouring BFC, but X2 found no clues about the curse. By the UEL, do know a BFC called Basora? LOA visibly startled by the N. Ronan, how did you know about yacht bdibdoos, enik into the restricted zone? I kept seeing the in the BFC do brought me. So I oa get kired what's impats about the BFC I get. Should mention yacht in the L used H magic to flip through the BFC, but Ronan opened it. The relevant Ichi hat completely vanished. L's fey darkened. Ronan, Bazula is a N T not be mentioned lightly. It is the MT evil of N Forbidden's BFC. Vagian says whoever possesses it, you gain infinite payo, but it also brings Tatin destruction. Yat is Oe, I became a Gajain. I can't believe you actually X the N Basora, Earth the recent disappearances. Jit is an ill omen, L. Did the disappearances in the Dao happen apt to the incidents? In those who vanished, my assistants. We searched the entire Dao of Hone, but found no trace of him. Roned fell into deep thought. Pip Han get vanished without a trace here. Maybe Bazula is behane Jeet. Meanwhile, on the SCA shy, Elizabeth OA practicing the Fio magic Philia taught H. Suddenly she swung H1 toward the E. A figure in Grek robes OA instantly dragged Farum the corner. Han Feng Yo invisibility magic. Can I do? OEA do spying on me. The voice you select others and I onward als laments mages who are MIXOFA honor to switch to another vil before they see C2 some mysterious explosion erupted behane H. Apt to the blat. 3 Grerub figures emerged Farum the smoke. Elizabeth cast a spell instantly, firing a burst of flames at the trio, but Owen of Hem blocked it a casual Yomshi X key fake so clearly. Elizabeth scoffed. Do Shinyo who vanished without a trace. Oh, reason do havu to act me, especially do, Grencha, science since do started Jit fate. Prepare to fey my wrath. Jit is the PPN's chan to tet my new moves. No sooner had she spoke, an OE pillar of Fio surged toward him. 2 of him quickly summoned magic Barayu. How is Jit possible? The voice you selected is already stronger than a Vorchia Methia. The Luyan Ryan the oil must with to another science. At Duragi? Siam Raymond silent, but a spear of Fio had already formed in his hand in an instant. The spear flew at an expert the AI couldn't follow, as it reached Elizabeth's AI. She didn't panic at it. A confident smile and a violet spear suddenly grown to awaited so long, is Jit and Doof GGT. Elizabeth snapped H fingers. And the Fio spear turned pup, my ton. Those oct. Elizabeth flicked H finger, and countless pup expia appeared in the E. They rain how on the trio's magic and bear you. The expia ok barely held BA so Elizabeth didn't stop H assault. The 3 struggled to defend. As cracks began to spiderweb across the Barayu, a pup spear pierced through and struck Owen of Hem. He OA instantly reduced to ashes. The remaining 2 changed key tactics, switching to a close-quarters assault. They lunged at Elizabeth incredible expert do might be a guineat, but without ring combat appearing, the pride do pu and be high. In an instant, the man OA rate inferno of H, brandishing a flaming longsword. In yod explit exeknon, Elizabeth casually waved H heen, countless expia impaled the man's body. Doer to naive. IOA get waiting foj haunted sense Fio is my Lee magic. Imhatsuba, do can use 2 types of magic at own, 3 actually. But do aren't even oct using him app to finishing PP the man. Elizabeth turned H gaze to Cyan. That BTU ditho I lies my temper OED do. And 10 the oats gang on earth the dis even though you're dang. Do empty no, if Arcalucia and Grencha ever went to coup. The entire MPO would be bathed in blood. No matter who wins, we ruin would remain. Ansu yo family didn't send do. They wouldn't do Zimanthan so despicable. Besides, they couldn't possibly fund Jip taking of Rithan into a KO if reached then Lee logical conclusion, do or bind manipulated, to spark a coup between the 2 families, but before she CT finish, an evil aura erupted far Zion. Hey, how clever. The mom he spoke, a terrifying pretzes, slammed Elizabeth to the ground. I do kidding me. The mere aura is enough to keep me far moving. Biffo she CTT react, a figure in Blick Road appears silently Biffo HAI. Who is Jitman? His Prasian Allen rivals the headmasters. Hey, is Elizabeth mesmerized by Jit Peo? LIPNLSC upon the own who you in Rujit, on you. Bazula Oat? Isn't yat the forbidden BFC in my clan forbids us for MX biking? More import OEG hey LSE exactly lay deal math. Bazula seemed to writ H thoughts. Hey, as she do've guessed it. Jit is indeed the bogey of Larden that Matu of the Deo, even the man at the pitch of magic. MT Neil Bifoming. But Elizabeth Zoe no few. Instead she began to laugh. Han du fainted pathetic, such a powerful bine. Hiding behind a Tediun Chai. Resorting to petty schemes, do plan end the extranjo Ivan in the Deo. The fic yat do haven't acted personally. Suggest do haven't fully regained yo strength, do or x do an unstable xtgt aren't do bazula. Suddenly to magic and spikes pierced H bogey. Clever GN. I haven't merged urgid bogey yet, but it seems I han't need to. I have found an even BTU vessel, the finest bogey I have will ever shin. No, it's time out of si chi yo choi. You and do sign the contract and become my servant, or a kai at the hen of yat grancha GN. Elizabeth simply laughed at his oct. It seems Yota is severely lacking. Do your worst. As the oct left H-mouth, Bazura snapped his fingers. Sivan lunged at Elizabeth a dagger. Meanwhile on the Asrona and Ergi, Uck reporting key findings to Philia. Ronan, is the Rithandus 8 true? Did you really zide Bazura in a BFC? I did, how else would I know the M Bazura? Perhaps the Peo ceiling Bazura how weakened, we should go check it immediately. Impatsiba own, I checked integrity, the Shinoi perfectly intact. Untid Duzenik into the Forbidden's Library? Do you know how dangerous it is in key? Lead a Deo Matu or I can gran entree, even foe do. If do Uck corrupted by those forbidden OBSC, Jit is a matter we cannot ignore. Own the Deo May to retag you and inform him immediate but bifo hey CTT finish, Philia CT hem PP. I'm Xery L. I shouldn't have u kept Jit farm do. The Deo Matu en Bazura a sealed tagag. Upon hearing Jit the two acts stunned, Philia quickly explained. A die AG. The Deo of Hone announced he away traveling. But he Nevio actually left. To Matu the Zen knowledge Erdin. He braka Bazura's shin. He ventured into the douse, deepest darkness. But the Deo met hasn't he already mastered fire and illusion magic at key pitch? Oe would he meet Forbidden's knowledge. Hots exactly Oe, he believed he see T contra Bazura, but in the end he failed. Apt to a brief struggle, he Oe possessed. He meant a guy to use a summoning scroll. To bring me to his shy. But it Oe already to LN. Finally, he ordered me to shin hem both out. Yat is the trite I've been hiding. The Dale Mattis fate Oe tragic. But exchange you Ivan you no plaguing the Dale. Of Rithan pointed to own conclusion. Bazura's shin hat likely been breaking. No own hat ever shin Bazura's true pair if it exceeded key understanding. Destruction, Owenly a matter of the Oe would he do unjazua ex stranger thin. Biffo he CT finish Onan's sensed a sudden, evil prasion. Yat familiar aura, it Oe the nebula igen is he prasion Oe even stronger than Brigia. Tracking the Ongi, Ronan found Elizabeth's GURP. Seeing Sivan's dagger, about to pierce Elizabeth. Ronan flashed Fout, and subdued Sivan. Elizabeth, do both owe me a favor. Biffo Ino Ak o Ronades won his out at the terrifying Bazura. To his surprise, Bazura Oe easily slashed to pieces. The entity didn't even have Utaimu to easily destroyed. My enhanced lard and Phantom, simply magnificent, as expected of my chosen vessel. Earth the Phantom defeated. Elizabeth collapsed to the fielo. Bazura's illusion magic Oe terrifyingly even, deceiving not only the may but even the physican sensation of pain. It seek no longer be called simple illusion. Oe completely overwhelmed. Ronan, Hant du ki 10 Adisa, a bot oat happened to me here. Ronan get smirked. Do I LSC later and Hawaii PX is of Yaktian Jili Sivan? And she's the third daughter of Hao Grancha. She Oe bind main contra. Hats Oe she did it? Key is no need to blame. Elizabeth Oe bind remarkably generous. Ronan then inspected the scorched fake so. The Chuak indeed the Mitsun mages, though Fury Farum Bazura's contra. They extra reeked of Nebula. It seemed Nebula Giant Hat infiltrated the Deo. Kigun Oe likely the forbidden sling are becoming more complex. Get then, Elizabeth whispered a weak onin to Ronan. Do need to got of he Bazura's taget is due. Oh to do min? Yes, no time to yet, Oe me his phantom. We aren't even on the same lavan as him. If he captures do, he might recover his fun strength. Yacht would be a catastrophe foe the Impeo, so please go. A voice CTH peep a new Prasian interrupted to Ellen not get him. But everyone in Jeet Deo is mine. Jit boring jam is F. Ronan become own me. N enjoy ultimate glary. Bazura unleashed his finding everyone in the Deo. Jitoe Ronan's fax to Temu seeing his true Peo, he couldn't H-ship but fu surprise. Git then, own of the Mitsun mages appeared before him. Falami my Matu wishes to Zaidu. Ronan hesitated foe Amamne. He seemed to have no SCH. He followed, resigned to the situation. He Oe let to the Forbidden Library. Bazura's figure appeared ahead of him. Without saying a Ronan Chiru his Zout Ing struck. He knew BTU that Jilis Hu Oe and the extra top Jizu boring lick parlor tricks. As a Yaksep Bazura. Hey Onkum. Ronan, my PPNG vessel. As the oct faded, a massive Peo suddenly erupted. Bazura's voice echoed en ma. He snapped his fingers. And in the Mitsun mages collapsed. So, did you lay my Onkum ceremony? Ronan Oe completely baffled, weren't they Kuyo contra? Oe would do dispose of him. Those ants thought they CCT used my pale. They wanted me to use CC fo ki igen is jit is they got. Ronan realized. Yat Bazura wasn't a late nebula, but Oe did he carry ki scent? He didn't hunt on it for long. He immediately raised his out. I han te ba ukrama, but if do own my bogey, dal havu to fay my blot faxed. Seeing the feel it Ronan. Bazura zoan, a hint of admite the massive gap in our strength. Do sa no few. Ronan didn't respond. He lunged fout a strike. Bazura's fem away shattered agon. But his lap to rang ek sekno later. Do really thin do can cure me? No, p the pry fo yo arrogance. As he spoke, a massive gaping maw appeared before Ronan. He couldn't hut them, then. Saren's rin flashed a grin lay. A grin shoe protected his entire boji. The maw snapped at him agon. Jit Taimu Ronan Alaragi blocked the strike instantly, and leaped BSE, channeling Saren's peo. He unleashed a whirlwind slash, the massive creature disintegrated. Bazura watched silently. A flick of his finger, the bit reformed. Becoming even more ferocious than Biffo, Ronan Zoa no few. Closing his AI, he focused Saren's peo into his out. A grain crute flashed in the E. Ronan zipped through the battlefield. Bazura gave a knowing smile, and waved his hand countless and sprouted farm the creature. A horde of monsters flew, pinning Ronan how. Bazura clenched his fist. Monsters swarmed Ronan, completely burying him. Suddenly, a brinline grin lay burst farm the pilk. The surrounding monsters, blasted owie. Yo strength exceeds my expectations. Ronan, Ellen sigh, git, how far do can go, he summoned. A magic can bow into his hen. He Achiru the string BS and effortlessly Elenthi Arafalai. But a giant firebird appeared in my snashing through the magican bolt and soaring toward Bazura. Bazura simply snorted. A Uvo, he erased in the farm existence. Ronan vanished. By the time Bazura noticed, Ronan away already behind him. A roar of Kai. Rona's block tame how. Biffo Bazura says T react, he away bleeding profusely, his head hit the fiolo. But own Ronan turned BSE around, the wound doy visibly. Healing at an incredible thin do CCT actually Zoo truly continued to surprise me. I own do even more no. As he spoke, swarms of monsters emerged from the void. Rona's skin crawled as he walked. Hioe no, and to him, Shizu Kricha, cutting him how oe pointless. He had to feign the forbidden's Beipsit the Zook, Larden, a warrior who CCT rival Nibiru's. Null possessed by Bazura. The chances of victory collectingsla at Yacht Mum, a pop spear began to fim in Bazura's hen. A simple flick of his wrist, the pop spear lunged fout at the expit of lay. But in the neck second, Ronan did Zimanthan unexpected, he lowered the zout in his hen. Bazula away instantly taken aback. At the same time the pop spear came to a sudden halt, then it dissipated into thin E, witnessing Jit. Bazula flew into a veiled rage. Do havu any idea do or Julish Hyamen do almost destroyed such a ppng bogey. After hearing Jit plunge La Mancha into the groin, do certainly GGT Sumner. Do Naivu intended to cure me farm the Eshtu Aktiet waiting for me to co up so do CT possess me? Instead of letting Yacht hat, I'd rather destroy Jit bogey makes some fun. In the neck exekna, Ronan raised the dagger to his throat. Even if do mutilate Yaksa I can do use killing magic to fix do. Ronan immediately countered him. Do might have a healing magic, but the jet cannot be brought bac to lay. Bazula froze to hearing Yak. He seemed to have been atched self. Seeing Jit, Ronan gave a slight smile. If do own Jit boji. Dal havu to agree to my terms facts. Noticing Bazula Ryman unmoved, Ronan Agan pressed the dagger toward his neck. Jit seemed terrified. Bazula own ma. Top Ronan. It is yo reet. Ronan sneered. Bazula. Ellen's both have Elik fan. Ellen's MCGA bet. Ellen's fim a binding contract curse. If anyone breaks the contract, the curse you and backfire and cure him instantly. Apt to hesitating foe AoE Bazu MGT his fame you have to tell immediately. Sealing the contract. The terms of a contract. CCT Ronan break through Bazula's illusion magic. As foe the stakes. If Ronan LST his bogey would go to Bazula. If Bazula LST he would release en contra. And be permanently sealed Aoi. Ronan signed the contract without delay. Since the Hayu is struck. Then I so duju krim, bik tijum be the lot mamari of Yole. Ronan Lee gave a faint smile. Owen he opened his AI agate. Ronan OABSE and the scene jithul his transmigration. So familiar. The Rempan giants loped how on everyone. As the Giants attacked. Humans uk as weak and helpless as in an angst, the casualties uk absolute despair shrouded the entire battlefield. Oching his blot-soaked comrades sacrificed themselves own by own but Ronan no longer fin simple rage. He roared in agony, yet Ryman powerless, but Bazula did not stop his illusion. Give up, or else, jit liven nate mu in torture du fauve. Ronan, the mom du proposed yacht bet, yo defeat, already certain. In the vision, Ronan struggled agon in agon. But he extu couldn't atk the hyporealitic hallucination. How many more mt kai full my shock? Is it not ev yet? I get on to our Argentino. Please top, ill give do of Rithen. Bazula couldn't ship, but laugh aloud. He immediately flew all of Lardon's bogey. Do we finally mine? As Bazula entered Ronan's bogey. A terrifying aura instantly enveloped Ronan. Shortly, Ap2, a darkened version of Ronan, truly a bogey worthy of my ex-hustle hook shimpienchid LGTMS a do the true peo of Jidfim. No sooner had the octopans but then Bazula delivered a lay strike La Mancha. The peo unleashed Oa Tentai yacht of Ronan. The massive X10 GGTOA pulverized Udu Xyli, Mui can draw out the fond potential of Jeet Bogey. Neck, Taimu tu Klaya Ajizu X Bazula looked at the fallen Lardon. He gripped La Mancha and swung it toward him. But suddenly, Bazula's bogey wouldn't budge. Followed by a scrin of pew agony. Oats gang on, do bastard oh did do? Biffo Hisiti grasped the situation, an invisible foot slowly dragged him into the abbot. How can jit be? How can on px gen habo so monikers do see accept 1,000 yen forbiddens bfc? Yet duvna vushan jit biffo? Ten me, how it food to be eaten owie by curisses? How did do, and yo consciousness, didn't expect yacht, did to lure do into jitra. I went through a lot of trouble. As it turns out before arriving, Al-Ha examined the rinse errant gave Ronan. And revealed it true pot. If infused a specific tape of magic, it would reveal it true fim. And gren the peo to resist evil. So I took a gimbibi, and it seems I owe a rate at yacht very mum. Bazula's fey twisted in agony. Imhatsuba, I am the forbiddance bfc of destruction. I cannot vanish farm any dunift. Bazula, jit is the pry of yogrit. Bazula struggled desperately lay a dying Dao. I am the forbiddance bfc of an existence yacht destroys octocryct anew. I cannot be erased farm any dunift. How can jeet be bifo he ct finish? Ronan gave him no chan. He ended him, a shinged zao yestrike. Oh it close, I almost died. At lot, it's ev, nuke Bazula have vanished. OEG the peo of the XT has to cling to the forbiddance bfc. It seems those bastards Farp and Nebula a behind it. Suddenly, a voice interrupted his thoughts. It's truly unbelievable. Do actually handled Bazula and Ronan Lotziasi a do okay. Matu Larden. I am deeply exerege yet happen in the deo. Unfo dragging do into it. Thank du Foyo Town, and firm resolve. Do have will resolve the crasit of the Magia Deo too. That's not talk about how I do alright? It LC Leyo Mana is gone. Larden appeared entirely indifferent. I'm fortunate yacht jit OA compared to Bazula nearly destroying the Deo and the Onun. Losing my magic is not a big Hayu. The Deo Mata's perspective truly is extraordinary. Get then, L. And the others arrived on the scene. Pushing himself to the limit, Ronan finally collapsed in relief. He opened his AI agon, he OA lying in a hospital BGT. The facts thing he did upon waking OA ATXE6 we've handled empty of it, thanks to do defeating Bazula. The mages who his contra havu, been freed. No own seems to havu any lingering ish. Everyone is a king hat to repair the Magia Deo, including Elizabeth. She have been actively helping Earth the Hill and Sion have been following H around, eager to age it. The two of hem zim to havu reconcile. Also, in lay of yo contributions to Jeet Deo, we decided to present do a token of our gratitude, though Jizue fafaram enough to compensate. Please accept him. As an expression of all thanks, Larden finished X-spiking and brought the top shakurt of the Hon Magia Deo Urchit, do represent the Deo of Hon. At any time mu, do may use any of the Hona Magia Dao's facilities. We've also included X-Varge and Halib and Magic Scrolls, hoping they might keep do in tie of grace. And finally, the Hondeo UN be yo steadfast ally far m no UN fove stand by yo shy. Yacht, the two of hem bowed slightly to Ronan. Shinio? Jit is far too much. I'll accept the git but, the two of hem then looked up. Philia then waved age hen. Summoning a soundproof Barayu. No. Valence talk. About the forbiddance BFC of Bafula. A few K later, L stood Alan by the she. The sow footsteps behind him CCT his attention. Oh, it's due, Ronan Dur finally awake. How I do fillin no, if mostly recovered. I need to return to Filian Aka Ami as thou as pop Bifo yacht. I have o to tend do the trite. L seemed to already know o toa ging to za and immediately interrupted him. Du han need to zayat, a remnant x of saran ta already tung me. He oa as sai and janti as ever. App 2 the matter oa settled. Ronan returned to the Akaami. Inside the training grounds, Ronan oa channeling mana into Lamensha. However, then a surging urge in him felt no hip further than usual. Ode hat changed though. The addition of a pop aura on his boom. Moreover, Jit aura oa identical to the Angi of Nebula. Yeah, damn forbiddens beast. What exactly did it do to my bogey? Before leaving the home Magia Deo, Lardon Hat handed the forbiddens BFC to Ronan. I do own to give me Jit BFC. I do own to ManhWa, but aren't do afraid of Zamamthinging hump worry, Bazula hopping completely eradicated. No, Jit BFC is merely a record of historical Hada. X do fo X into shock, we've decided it belongs do. Baked, do absorbed, and of Bazula's Angi own he failed to teach Yev yo bogi. His pale ramen inside do. By kipping the BFC, do might feign the rate opportunity to truly matu yacht peo, at yacht mom Ronan thought of Zafa. And couldn't break if jiz aura on me. And I running to him again, hell definitely tear me to pieces. Fortunately, ordinary pip cannot detect it. Get, then. Nabros appeared quietly behind Ronan. It seems yo swordsmanship ha improved significantly. CCTP yacht during his time he gained some Nayu insight. LST and thought, Ronan oa suddenly startled. Oh, it's get do Nibiros. Prophet so, it's been a oe. Have we grown distant? Oh, did you encounter at the Deo of Hone? How did you suddenly have a manak? Ronan couldn't believe it. He asked Olma, Prophet so, I do saying jit thing inside me is a manako, and not get a wound. Hearing jit Nibiros oa fuming. Do brat. How key do you compare a wound to a manako? Clearly, do haven't been paying attention. Ronan didn't try to explain. He simply gave a gip, 90-degree bow of apology. Nibiros and a frustrated faith. Since we're here, I'll explain it to do onmal taimu. A manako is forged through countless battles and years of relentless training. It's extremely difficult to fem. Ni a handful of elite swordsmen ever managed to develop own. It is the ultimate honor foe a warrior. To peeped it simply, it's a hat yacht hub and bolstered by mana. So many tie, yacht in Noax as a vessel. To exta mana directly, we classify swordsmen ethithal and aptu the ko is developed. The reason being, the mana stored in a ko is far denser than yacht in the e. Plit, it's the ni ue to awaken own's aura of pretz. Possessing a ko means do have entered a new realm of swordsmanship, but a ko usually takes hate to matu. How did do fem own? Apt, to Ni a few months. Furthermore, a location is unusual. Instead of the usual spot, it's formed, right in the Zentu of Yocha, Siratik Ingli X-spiking. Jit means do might end up to mana cores. No, as fo you'll resign to know, Oat happened to do at the Mage's Deo. But no yat do have Lako. I'm even more interested in a duel. Ronan hesitated foe among prophet so a do picking on me I guess is do received 8 new gip, as yo teacher. I am tet yo progress. Startled, Ronan waved his hand in refusal, but Nibiro's oa relentless. CCN is a BTU teacher than CMFE Ronan. Ronan U Kioe no ATK. And he wanted to tat the cospeo himself. He funneled mana into his blot Lamensha and lunged at Nibiros. A powerful blow sent Ronan flying BSE 10 meters, but Nibiros closed the gap instantly. Ronan quickly raised his zout to parry. Nibiros strike away even more powerful Jit Taimo, zattering the ground beneath him. Haven't felt Nibiros paralysis before. Ronan knew the gap between him oa vath. He oa completely outclassed in terms of strength. If he kept taking Gizu hits directly, his bogey wouldn't hunt much long. He had to feign a shank panning to break the Prophet's riem. Maybe he see T-Fun PP a surprise counterattack. Since I have Luther's breath no. Can I use kiss techniques? Apt to a mom of thought. Ronan stomped his fat onto the suddenly countless threat of mana shot toward Nibiros. In an angst, the thread bound him. Ronan couldn't believe the spell actually worked. Did I do it? But Jit isn't owed I expected, looking at the mana binding his legs. Nibiros became even more Mumman. Nibiros moved faster than the AICTD Zai and Bracca Fairy Farah charged straight at Ronan. It seems do learned, some intron 10 tricks at the Deo, in a Reen Fate. Jizu moves might actually be but estive Amy old L Stuv DGT. Give it and duv DGT, I'm looking fout to a surprise. Ronan, X2 reeling farm his fax to spell. On I, Vragi? I need a mom to figure at yacht mom. The manako on Ronan's chest flickered. Suddenly Ronan collapsed. Nibiru stopped immediately. Jit didn't LSC Lena. Ronan, oh Tabin. The scene shifts to Jordy's Deo. Do bastard. Oh did do to Ronan? Do are not enemies. How CC2B so is mana draining rapidly. Enough, got to the point. Can do cure him? Of course I'm an expert in Jit. He needs to teach my prescription. Hell BBSE on his fit in no time so X stop hesitating. And go got the McGixon. Upon hearing yacht, Nibiru's rushed PP to fetch the McGixon. Thank do prophet so Jordy. I haunt no oat habit. My main suddenly went blank. And I felt completely drained. I know, but they're licky. Every time we do see him here, do feign opportunity others nevu's eye in a lifetime, yet melancho in your chest. A likely formed, farm buzula's peo philia tani of Rithin. She asked me to keep a close eye on do to ensure yo XP, hunt worry, the ungi inside do is xtabe. As long as Barzula doesn't resurrect, do get neat to stay calm. Though the position of Yoko is unusual, and requires further xdui, I suspect Jitko can release Pretzes. Pretzes is a trait possessed by the Extrang. It's Zate Yacht Nili in mom of extreme despair. Own lies, ki kos mena. Can Jit be mastered? I didn't expect you to gain so much. Prophet so Jordy, can I really use Pretzes? But isn't everyone's Pretzes unique? OEG mine fu so much lay dorans. CCT Barzula's pay'll be the cause? Well, Nate Prophet so maya to confirm it later. Yes. A bit of gitla. 2 of yo 8 curses have vanished. Vanished? But I didn't do ninathin. It's Bikt Barzula and those 2 curses share an origin, so they merged. During Yat Proxit, they essentially cancelled Ichi Ikasel Aishi. Yat sounds incredible, but I have ManhWa Zeigrut. I'll uncover him en. He recovered. Ronan left Jordy's Deo. Walking through the Akaami Allen. His main Oa Fen questions. Get then. Ziamoan called his Enfar Behane. Assel Oa running toward him, looking frantic. Ronan thought Assel Oa get excited. To zai him aptu so long. But Assel didn't zlau how. In fic he ran even heka. Bick at a massive lane. Oa rate Behane hit. Seeing Assel run ev so eagerly, Ronan assumed it Oa Bick had missed him. But then he exit. A ferocious giant lane, Oa chasing Assel how. It Oa manticore. Native to the Naktot, they extremely dangerous carnivores. Ki bodize as hat as extu. Anti-lethal of is the tail-tipped paralyzing venom. Ode is a mangstu lay jeet doing at the aka on faxtu. I have a tizvu Assel. Ronan took a gip breath. Mana surged into his ko. Linning Ferem Lot Taimu, he focused on controlling the mana, to avoid exhausting himself. Ronan closed his AI. As stepped fout. Countless threat of mana, shot toward the lane Behane Assel. Instantly the bit away bound. Oh, it actually worked. But Biffo Ronan CT celebrate, the bit tore through the restraints. Ronan CC Lee give an awkward laugh. Maybe my mana is X2 too weak. A massive claw launched at him, the neck Exekna. Ronan quickly, Churu La Mancha. But get then. A flight of lay streaked by. In an angst, the bit Oa slammed to the ground. Itho they CC even Zyot happen. It Oa pin how unable to MUV. Adieu to hurt. Prophet so Valen, is Jit the Prophetsis aura? It seems to be a physican enhancement tape. To teach ye how a menticore, in own hit, Zun, the bit Oa locked in a kaki. Valen looked at the captive creature concern. I'm X-ray foe the trouble. As the head of the Fedivan of 100 bits, I didn't expect it to break the magic cookie. My sincerest apologies. I am truly X-ray. Ronan quickly waved at PP. It's Fane, thanks to do. I GT tis I Zamathan rare. But the Fedivan of 100 bits, oh tis ya, do get GTPSC so you do wayami is buzzing preparations. The Fedivan is exactly as it sounds. Hell tia Aphilion Akaami. It showcases the impious, rarest monsters and animals. Sounds intrintin, but it seems pretty dangerous right now. Prophet so Valen, you and do kanks an ebict of Jit? Likely not. Plitch expectations a very high. Own incident isn't enough to stop it. MT importantly, Yacht Natter is by an officially announced foe the Fasin Shithaimu, to the bu-in of Ronan's clap. The 3 of Hama discussing the Zenta 9 Fedivan, Ilesi lay the Fedivan is going to give us some. He might be some hit can dangers Jit Taimu. Is Jit Ivan really oct on the hype? Own, everyone's talking about it. Hot spick, yes, an incredibly rare creature by an exhibited Jeet Thai, the Tuin Enfun. The Tuin a very unique species. Before they even MC AI contact or to tag it, they rit key thoughts. Then they transform. Anfa turns into ZMON the tag it loves. As Fode Maga becomes ZMON the tag it absolutely loads. Hots Oe everyone wants to Shiozu do thin Ronan. Aren't do interested in seeing him. A creature yacht Kanzai into Yoha and Chenjo a fem accordingly. Listening to Maria's explanation, Ronan already knew his answer. Enfa would surely turn into Iril. And Naga, own, hot's obvious. Even thinking about him, T. Ronan's blah Maria's rate. The Avon Jisao fascinating. But it also means anyone can and to the Akaami, including some dangerous individuals. Alright, enough about the Fedivan. Ellen's got BSE to bizinet. The reason I called do both here to a is to give do a gip. A celis jit own is fo do. As he spoke, Ronan pushed the Bazura toward him. Ode is jit, a BFC, it's a rare item I found. At the whole Magia Deo, do might feign it difficult to rate no. They zai, every Shang Pag is protected by magic and encryption. Deciphering get owned Hagi, CC Tichi and entire K. So Tichi yo taimu it. Asalis opened the BFC, his fey fun of shock. Oh my god, I can't believe jit. Ronan Oi taken aback. Do can actually read it? The voice you selected every no hatia let this way complex me. Please click the upper right icon and switch it on some avoid Tichi. You and Tichi taimu to fully understand it of course. Since Juzua had dimensional concepts. But if I teach it at XLYU, it'll manage to got through it eventually. Do are incredible. Ronan, how did you got Johan on? Such a miraculous grimoire? Ronan gave an awkward laugh. Trap me if do happiness you? No, it's Maria's ton. Do have you some fury cause I profit so valen immediately. I have you an opportunity fo do too, really yet sounds to get to be true. Profit so valen ha successfully cultivated sarin herbs. He plans to use Chemfo potions. They'll be distributed across the MHO. I strongly suggest do teach charge of the promotion. Do know how effective those herbs a. The voice you select you'll on that this language. Please click the upper right could all be swimming at the in no time. Maria couldn't H-up but got excited. Jit is fanatich. Alright Maria, let's have you a duel. I own to Zai how much you've improved. The voice you selected does not sound Warrior's language. Please click the upper right to ethate the other voice. The two of them hurried to the training grounds. Acelas wanted to follow him. Maybe I should go too. No. Acelas, do stay fit on studying yacht amazing BBC. Meanwhile, in a GAC alley near the Fedivan grounds, a group of suspicious men in Blick gathered. HQ ha issued the net command. Carry AR Absolute fill the honor of Caliboro. 2 weeks later, at the Aka training grounds, Jit is yo 514th attempt. Adieu to Ragi? Of course, I'll extat the Congo. 3, 2, 1, go. Rack charged at Ronan incredible expert. He owe in front of Ronan the blend of an AI, but Ronan watched him top jet in his tracks. Racked found himself instantly bound. I really can't MUV in. Ronan, Jit skill of yours is Rymacab B. Ronan breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks for the A-chip. Congratulations, Racked. Ronan, yo output. Expit, and then abound Ugkapiench. To achieve Jit and get hap a month. Do are truly amazing. It's nly bicked, do and helped me. Do analyzed my skills and pointed my flaws. Do even taught me exactly how to bridge those gap. Racked, yo tramperanxi, allowed me to sharpen my senses. Unch boosted my skill payo significantly, I've learned a lot for, and due to, Oching du fei my blot. Without showing a hint of few, it's truly admirable. Yat is the mindset of a true swordsman, Ronan. Thanks for helping me reach my new goals. Do are an excellent Liu. I really lay how fun of Ongadua. Apt to a round of mutual praise. Racked left the training grounds. Ronan looked at the Pam of his hen. Get by mimicking Doran's use of XDA payo. Even T massive progress. If I CCT fully, mat to it. I CCT mock the aura profit so valen hat. My problem no is, yet my koangi drains too quickly. I'm X to get a hap bait imitator. If I CCT's I at own or to oimo, I think I d got the hang of it, but asking the prophet so to sa me his aura agan would be too much of a bother for him. What should I do? Get then? Hurried footsteps interrupted his thoughts. Aren't du bari prophet so volens exixten? And I'm glad do remember me. If shin do around the few tai. Brings do here, the prophet so left earlier to a. But he left the lee too. Hey zate if thingy gta off hen. I should see em to do fo a chip. Prophet so valen left rate as the Fedivan. Is about to begin? The urgent matter is. Yet some of the Fedivan Kritchahavu vanished. Jit includes the Knivens. MT important attraction. The two in. The voice you selected does Arnu Rush or Fein language. Please click the upper right corner Ashley's which have another less weeks AG. Ever since the ATK has been feared, Prophet so valen hanavu benjit he felt had overlooked Zimanthan. So he went to investigate personally, leaving Legitin. Dazan arrived at the scene. Adizan carefully examined the scene, the enclosure fo the two in. Jit kaki, OMT of a specialized alloy glat. Do already know. Get how durable it is, the shards A and non-izai kaki. Jit OA definitely a plan act 2 hearing jit. Rona scanned the Austriak, no signs of a stroke. Hot's true. We have a serious problem. The culprit might x2 be inside we hana catch hem zun. Disaster CCT strike. Rate, exixten, to catch the thief. CCT do ATX ECC those net to assist us? Or sun thended, looking at the day's nights, Rona stretched his am. I really envy nights. Yo Job seems so easy. Unlike us. Puhayu udanziutri will add the akaami. NTB nights? The knight didn't respond. He get stood key in silence. Silence means I'm rate own binary nai isn't easy. The nai immediately grew hip and sip. Do mimbai yet? Am I wrong? Do el entus and even stranger without IDs. Yo negligence kazu jit disaster yet do san he call no guilt, no panage. I honestly got it. The nai barked BC angrily. Jit away an accident. Boy, do our get. By do we really do an explanation? Ex yo mouth. And got out of here. Duv ggt a big mouth fo a ex don't about the bull arn yo no signs of a struggle. Who a do pip, really? The knight didn't answer. Instead he threw his out durvan sinister lessee. It seems do are tired of livin'. As the nigh lunged at Ronit, the nigh behind him blocked the strike and x2 flashed through the E. The let nigh fell instantly. Everyone froze. The ACA knights swarmed in. Do traitor how key do, the turncoat nigh oa prepared. He blurred fout. Striking hem how without hesitation. Using Bert foot. He pinned Hemagan, the Fein strike ended it. Ronan braced himself to fate. To his surprise, the nigh dropped at how new exiot. Lo Ronan. I am at yo exvit. Allow me to explain of Vayu and Hurj and of Jizu filthy sinners, so please hot misunderstand me. Ronan oa momentarily stunned. Yat familiar voy, is it Barus? It's been a long time Lo Ronan duve arrived, yet, oa kia unique entrance wasn't it? Ot havu du been doing en jit time as you should tell me the trite. Barus didn't key a shengik sekna. He began his ripped immediately to we went I'll separate Yui. I took it upon Naxanthan to handle in the Huti UCC. I eventually earned the approval of a high OA promoted to the rank of OM thanks to Yat promotion. I OA able to got close to and steal numerous classified accurate as do instructed. I regularly provided intelligine to Yat PX. I often t the prophets so mentioned in the fate agon, the calibro egan Zixen, an anonymous zook hat been a massive A-chip. So, Ode is the gun of Yoskern operation. It's big lately. Calibro's reputex and ha hit with bottom, thanks to my aggressive espionage. Yat lo, Oa able to see search. Furthermore, I personally sabotaged every Sheng poaching operation. Calibro is in a very desperate situation. We've also been spreading runk. Yat the Egonizixen is finished. Therefore, the Calibro leadership is desperate to v key reputex. They've devised a plan called Operation 100-bit to seize Peo. The 2N key per emere fict. But key ultimate gun is to capture every Kuthich plan succeeds. Calibro's printy gu and undoubtedly be restored. Washurjit, Calibro's co-elit. Arendalha arrived here as own. Regarding Jitplay, the operation is that's the fun mon hangs ev the Akaami spire. Arendel, H 5 years AG, Kioea man, who wiped ale the Zabich werewolf pack in a Shingni yet ManhWa Arendelle. It seems they've prepared for every contingency, letting the 2 in 8 TKOA likely pat of the plan. It's Clealia MUV to distract the Imperian army. OE they plunder the ACA Kricha. X16. Please havu the Imperian army secure Jit, Arya and as long as I feign the 2 in facts do, Arendelle UN be forced to reveal himself. Il usk Jit, Chandafon him up by the roots. Meanwhile, a burly man away gorging himself on MIT. Waiting for the prey to Tichi the bait. Jit is becoming incredibly bored, whether it's the Manticore or the 2 in. There and get XEMT ferrate so hurry up NSA yourselves. Jit tayu and MC Chi Su do a torn. The voice you selected does not Orendel Ayash into the Lunan Anya on the right decided to saying the Minasum in facts too. After Ashen used Xalbu magic, 2 contra Xvarj he had the animals identify the magic residue in the cake to trick how the 2 in. As Achen slowly opened his AI, he issued the command to begin the hun. The contra animals immediately sprang into CCN, Gip in the foray, and Ajafuk Oe foraging full fat. However, Jitfek Oe actually the twin Tamaga in disguise, at XEMT being Oe tailing it closely far Yahhain Veen, Oe the own Achan Oe controlling. Maga sensed it Prasian, Aptu glancing at the beant, it bogey collapsed into a fleshy mass. Seconds later it transformed into a Zinch. Own Zoop mixed gen, it devoured the beans in monk. The voice you selected does not actually immediately without the beans frequent in the upper right corner to quickly twin other Gruit in the right direction. They arrived. Bay Axantine then but a Zinch Achan shouted, Hot's the Zinch. It's actually the 2 in disguise. Biffa Ronan CT even MU. Bars charged fout. LIPMANU TC legit to me. Lo Ronan, I'm here lit Zinch. Isn't oct dirtying Yohenev, I can handle jit make some fun. Barus capch it ease. Lo Ronan, LSE if taking cav no probable. But Ronan didn't LSE relieve. Instead he became visibly frenzied. You idiot. OED do MCGAI Magda transforms into whatever do few the MT. It feeds on yo terror and negative emotions. By the time Ubaruz realized his mistake, Bazinch and his hand hat shifted into an unknown mass. He looked BSC Agan, and hat turned into the adorable Sita, but fo Baruz. Jitlik Oe, his live-in natemate get remembering Yakke. NGT, his skin crawl, he instinctively threw the creature as it flew at Yaw. Ronan happened to rat fout. At Yacht exact Maga and Ronan locked AI. Jit is bat. Maga immediately flew PP in Anno direct Jit MTA eye contact if it turns into Zmenth and Leia Hayut. Thin a gang to Gotvari messy. Ronan didn't have Taimo to explain. He shouted to Atshen. Tichi Baruzen go fame Antha. Ill handle thin on Jit in but own Ronan CTT up. Kioe no sign of any giant Mangstu. Oats king on, Gaivan a previous expit. It should have finished transforming by no. Yes, Tinthin lay a Hayut anywhere. Zementh and Yachtmass should be impats about to hide. NT surprisingly, Ki a Kyoman footprints. Judging by the magic residue, Jizua definitely the 2 instruct. Huan 8 did Yacht thing transform into. The closer I got, the stronger Jeet overwhelming bloodlust becomes. CT at B. Ronan suddenly remembered the JC Sawu Hey XBSE in the void on you. He grew more cautious every XTGP. Finally, Behane a try he X a Hyaman figure. Ronan froze instantly. The Sao, Oe muttering to itself, I think and I couldn't preach anyone. Looking at Yat familiar silhouette, Ronan felt a gipzan of dread. I extu couldn't preach. A shing, I thin murderous intent glared at Ronan. The voice you selected disolay hourslessly so far, please unpluna early componry LH to another voice. It is happening right no. Jit means yacht. The zook of my negative emotions Oe Navu some manx do. It Oe Nui makes him fin hots Oe yut is radiating such terrifying killing intent toward me. The transformed Maga didn't unt. It blinked rate in fern of Ronan in angst. Oe couldn't do. Ronan's instincts kicked in, and he barely parried the strike. The Peo Behang yacht strike. Even greater than Ronan's Fiuch Zemful. The impact sent shockwaves through the surrounding foray. If HT yacht the 2 in manifest. They inherit the Memarien traits of Ki Tagat. But Jit isn't get proud of me. Jit is exactly how I OABC that. Jit is getting dangerous. If Jit is me, from the time I fought a Hayut, my skern bogey, and be able to suppress him easily, I need to kip my litstan, and by some time get, as key blades clashed, the Fiuch Ronan suddenly lent go of his out. Ronan, X2 pushing fout, Hinevu expected his opponent to deliberately herp his weapon, get to throw him PP Zentu. The fact Ronan immediately grabbed Ronan's LSH. He followed up a brutal Sidtrengus, leaving Ronan completely defenseless. Yacht, ruthless, MUV, it really is, get thanks to do. Unremembering thin eye hat long forgot a pathetic ending fodu, the transformed Ronan muttered coldly. No, except my fangip. The mom those ogt of a lethal uvo of sock key swept toward Ronan. Ronan scrambled to Fanawi. I didn't LGT my gat halfa even self-exegnan. I almost saw st my lay get no. So jidoe oats, I oe labius doing whatever it took get to survive. Urtin and thin, but they urged to tear others apart. Pew animalistic brutality. I absolutely cannot relax. Even a split x second of distraction. Oh min angst and Jane. The fact Ronan didn't give him any breathing room. He launched an even more powerful strike. Utilizing the ing of the Zikrich, his out key kicked up a massive cloud of dust. Ronan immediately LSD-8 of his through the swirling dust. Anil Fatin blot suddenly emerged. Jit Taimu. Ronan didn't hugyo. He charged right into it, relying on his and Zenf knowledge. He successfully predicted the app cat. He neutralized the strike PPN Ronan seized the panning. OE to do LSC so surprised. Your moves are obvious to me. Bikt do, me. A solid hit landed rate whose swung is bold T at the Fakro. However, Vak Ronan took the Blehetten. Did I even CT him, or did he somehow avoid the brunt of it at Alodic Sakna? Zenxing Ronan's hesitation. The transformed Ronan took his chan. He delivered a thunderous headbutt. Evrithan hey, the impact CCTB felt foamai. Ronan spat a mouthful of blood. Jit Lunatic is truly capable of Ninathin. Given him no time to breathe. The Fak Ronan unleashed a phantom kitsch. Nuke Ronan blocked it. He OAX to send flying dozens of meters, but then Ronan realized Zemanthan OAPP. If it took really me, I wouldn't get on the fate by knocking him owie. If my god is rate. Yes, Nuie felly up MUV to ensure the cure. And Kia the Zafblot sliced silently through the E. Aiming straight foe Lunan's vital gift thing I know makes infam. Lunan sidestepped instantly, catching the lethal strike. Jit is becoming a reen headache. I need to got him to Seach. AI contact Earth overs he transforms Agan. We can settle out in ton business. Suddenly a coarse voice rang Duranad the BFC I'm looking for such overwhelming bloodlust. So it wasn't Baron Aptuan. Who would thought it OA get some unbahanthiers how he do run OE in my hunting grounds. Yet who to do thin due. Dong Lunan looked at the man's massive frame. And his menacing, savage stance. He recognized him instantly. Jitman OA Allendale. Damn it. Of the tie fo him to SA. Seeing Lunan remained silent. Allendale questioned him aga. What's the matter renizing, a do scare oe hand do answer me? But then Allendale sensed demanthan oapp. He subbed the Litstin Prasian of Tamaga. Hey brat. Oe is yo boadiating the scent of Taga? Lunan oe jolted by damn you'll notice it already? Furious at the lack of Rigspawn, Allendale lunged toward Lunan. His desperate grip crushing everything in his pat. Own squeeze, he shattered his taggy get captured Anfa. I nevu this clues to Tamaga to be delivered right to my doorstep. Biffo his voice CT for Allendale threw a punch the foot of a collapsing mountain. Lunan blocked his out. But OAX2 sent reeling by the shot. It seemed his title as the Supreme Li Yu of caliber OA more than getful OA terrifyingly powerful and hentoin every strike OA brimming raw strength and aimed lethal because even a Shang hit landed. My skern bogey wouldn't be able to handle it. Yes and no problem too. The man who should have been eager for a duel, is no masking his killing he's completely X2. Based on my past lay, he can lead be own reason fojith he's waiting for the PPH mom to cure me in a shank strike. I have vowed to finish Jeet fate as quickly as possible. Lunan gripped his out then unleashed Gao slash, moving the X-bit over here he left me a blur of Zouchaho in the E. The ack landed squarely on Allendale, but Allendale simply tanked the bly. It left me a shallow scratch on his neck. Yeah, actually extong a EGT some skill, kit, Allendale swung on a massive punch. Mt pip lysk, ki un to the mom they fame. Yo Prasian here is clearly no accident. Looking at Allendale's menu scratch, Luna realized the trite, Allendale OO using a specialized Peo aura. He integrated his aura directly into his McTamp, Ninin his N flesh into a weapon. Jit away on a completely hip firm Lavin then Xdan got mana hardened. It away the ultimate expression of Reen from tape. Allendale L ent. An involuntary. Do actually manic guy to ZCA jit bogey of mine. Do should be pro of Yoksep. The voice you selected does not Savoy Allendale. Acknowledge these clips the upper right corner to hedge for voice as my list do right. The mom he finished X Moonin away send flying backward. Allendale immediately followed up and no heavy fist. Luckily Lunan's reflexes sapina or he would have been crushed on the spot even as he dodged. Lunan seized and panning. He unleashed the 9 lethal swords. The block tore through the itch strike precisely targeting a vital point, but Agan Allendale's hardened skin. Jizu Uk merely surface wounds, yet Luna didn't next stop. He kept up the assault. Annoyed, Allendale grabbed the nearby Banku own hen and hurled it effortlessly. Luna shattered the incoming Reich instantly, but concealed behind the debris. Allendale had already closed the gap. Allendale thought he had him, but Lunan had anticipated the he already prepared to strike as Luna's Zao no wreathed in mana. As he swung, a Uvo of Magician Fist Ongi surged toward Allendale. Allendale crossed his arm to block the blat. The axe pale so immense, yet even he struggled to withstand it. Foe Noja is starting to got fan. Hardly the octo own Allendale erupted an even more powerful aura. His physican stature seemed to keep be it shin a long time moves yatha acquired my fun to tankson. Excellent, truly excellent, Brad too. A definitely my fun effort. Tjit my ultimate. Biffo he seat fin Allendale's arm suddenly severed. He didn't even have Utaimu to react. Hey, externally a tribe stunned by a duplicate of Lunan, and the duplicate actually had it. I didn't lead by instinct. The blindfolded phantom used branch to slice right through the enemy's arm. Biffo Allendale's CCT proxet has limb already gone. Allendale stared in tatten disbelief. He looked at the simple branch. I focused my aura so much on the Shing pool yet I left Makesonfin but Dugwai used Pien thin but a twig. To ZGPP my arm. Get who the hell is Jit guy? On Jet sent, is he T-Mega? Damn it, to do thin dushin me execn the phantom Lunanzon sensed and no threat. But it didn't continue attacking Allendale. Instead it began to lash Allendale's arm severed. The Fantasia action hit play he hold with severed arm toward Allendale. Allendale trembling pure do insolent fun. How key do MC see me my unlimb? The phantom ignored him completely. In a flat, infern of him Agan. Extom of Zhao Shaho descended. Sending Allendale howling in pain, Lunan watched the scene stunned, his gaze fixed on the backhand. Yacht guy actually using random branches to fate. And he doing it, his did he shoot his tag at Allendale? G Tamaga, thin Allendale's Antha, is a mall-worthy opponent as Luna suspected. Apt to Antha captured by Allendale. He had endured unspeakable torture, yet oed maga so furious, the fan jumps out, strikes Buck relentless. Allendale also realized Zimemph Jit manifestation of Tega looked get lay Lunan. He even began to own coup. If Jit the voice you select it even Jit's unrefined rat was Jit extra. Just click the up on their adult version and switch to another using the exact same moves. Would see chi me the prey. Allendale finally abandoned any hob of capture. He decided he had to cure him Rakia. Ritno in yacht angst Allendale funneled on his peo into his fist. He launched a devastating punch. The Phantom Luna knew he couldn't have it, so he braced himself to Tichi the hit. He meant a guide to divert the trajectory of But the hen Hinmu in the branch severely injured. Seeing his panning, Allendale seized the mom. Clenching his fist tight, he prepared to finish the geop. But at the very he lunged. A sap dagger sank into his flesh. Allendale's face twisted in agony. Do cunning bastard, do purposefully took my hit. The injury to yo arm, get a distress me la my gap. Biffo hey CCT's eye Phantom Munem grabbed his fey. And brutally gouged his then he pulled us out far. And the X10, Lee then did LSE of true terror recruit Allendale's fey. He couldn't even beg Fomux the Phantom Zoa no hesitation, delivering the feign fatten blah. As the mighty Allendale finally collapsed, Lunan L ent, alongside of I have to hin on, I am T Pridget. Jit reminded Lunan of a certain puppet, though haunted by the regret of not listening to his sister's advice. To lane ma own, he had the chahin of being unable to preach, though sli elf I have a chan to extat m. Lunan took a x-step fout. Threat of mana instantly bound the phantom. Oat me carefully, magic pale began to flood into the Zout Lamenka. Witness oat if become. A blot of Pew magic and Ongi shot toward the phantom at high expert. The phantom raised his Zout to block it. Lunan knew Jit would be the outcome. The phantom deflected every strike Lunan threw, but Lunan had already vanished. Farms 8, he reappeared. He might, gripping his vouching how a faint yellow glow. Jit hail aura Lunan hat mastered. By observing Allendale and Baron. Though the phantom tried to resist, cracks began to expie across his ST's out. Lunan used to thin any longsword would suffice. But apt to seeing the Haisha weapons of Palborough, he realized the massive gap between ordinary X2 entry as his out shattered. The phantom Lunan away momentarily stung, but he recovered quickly. Attempting to block Lamanka urt his bear Pam, Lunan always shocked. I have to disable his right hand. Gee, the phantom immediately countered, grabbing Lunan by the head and slamming him how urt foot. He then swiftly snatched the zout from Lunan's hand. I x2 couldn't preach it. The mom those ox the phantom swung the zout straight at Lunan. Suddenly two voices called et al to Lunan. Lo Lunan. Recognizing those familiar voices, Lunan froze in his tracks. He stared intently at the two figures ahead. It oe Kamenka Adshen and his Unkamardinum Barris. Lunan looked at him and asked softly. Jijit and Zim familiar, the Ganaran is as exceptional as ever, but his Psuxaliti is nit thin lay it used to be. Barris gave up poaching Lonage. Hayes no the hero who took Alcalibro. The others MTB doing own somewhere, too. But MT importantly, my sisters finally live in a happy lay. Hearing Jit, the phantom Lunan, seemed to go into a daze. I promised Jeed lay uns and lay the lot on. So please, trap me. Lit have writhen to me, my past Zemfwa. Hearing those oct phantom Lunan looked completely relieved. The voice you selected does not support this language. I believe in do. Please azuna afarai finidor resolves to another helpless rin of lay. Trap me, in 10 years. Well, mighty agan ursmatiz Lunan's biznet hia oa concluded. Lunan en his to converted Antha and Mega, BSE, to the Aka. Later Barris became Valen's Exixton. And the Fatavan of Bit began as scheduled. Maria and Acer went to Jai the Festa in a Viative and Pack. They ex the Zidus Trajua and for the Tuing. She oa on H, Arigen Blue Mercury Pes since we're here. Ellen's Zyhos Capch. Alec Cutie's hat. Acer's fay turned bright red and he tried to refuse, but Maria, Navu owned to MIT a chan to tease him, pushed Acer toward Antha. The mom Antha and Acer locked AI. Antha began to X. She transformed into a tan, bland beauty. She turned around. She looked exactly like Maria. Acer severe at his fay in embarrassment. Even Maria always stunned. How is yet possible? Acer wanted to crawl into a hun and hide. Maria looked at Antha again. Antha shifted maw. Jit Taimu, away the silhouette. Maria suddenly looked lay Shedshin Agis and quickly dragged Acer Aoi. The neck K. Lunan visited the Tween. Maga away X to bind treated foe injury and Lunan X Mgaga's true fim. Enfa noticed Lunan nearby. En seemed to beckon him. As Lunan and Enfa's AI met. Enfa changed shape. The silhouette of a heroic appeared. I really do respect my superiors. Lon Taimun no Zai, Kamanka Adshen. Actually, they fax do recovered Antha. She had manifested as Adshen, MGOA taken how in the chaos. And then she shifted into fall. Adshen hat hardly, Sivira it up. Hunt do go wandering PP at one of Yakins. Adshen couldn't even LSE Lunan in the AI. A few K later, Lunan visited Prophet So Secret. Lon Taimun no Zai, Lunan. IHTO to curses merged Bazura. Into a magic ko. Do zim to havu key the luck. Furthermore, during jits I have a research a to break on of yo curses. The proc set is the same as bifo. We enter yo inner on yun. Manifest the curse. Locate it zook. And then sever it. However, do the hers unreveal itself so easily. It yun do whatever it takes to pritch itself. To stabilize yo inner on yun. Well, knit a massive amount of mana and atal. Mana isn't and it's you. The problem is the catalyst. Havu do HT of a plaxa called Danehol. Danehol is lactate, gip in the desvik of the terrifying monsters. And the hostile logos. Mani adventurers havu LST key, like it at least do mentioned, it wouldn't be those rare blick extend, would it? Exactly, Danehol mana extend. A Danehol mana XT is an incredibly rare and priceless gem. It's a Topsha magic in Matarine, containing high-end city mana and mysterious payo. Whenever own appears at an Empyrean auction, it shatters previous bidding racked. Hots OE I hadn't contacted you sooner, so can do on a bit longer? I you and do my bet. To feign an ennatic pal regardless of oat, it takes. LC lay il havu to mcichi the trip may shortly apt to Lunan zet fo the mana xtyn, on the UE Action X Lunan approaching. And immediately hid behane a trial on the notice H-rate owie, ogia do doing yevya, Ashan oa flustered by the kuchin, and began to babble nonsense. Nontiam fin, it's get yut, antha. Then things wrong at. Is yat so own hot skit then. Anyway, yo timing is pp. I actually wanted to teach you do somewhere. Ashan, Helenska got do a catma weapon. A weapon? Oh do min? If Nui fell bat. Yeah, I couldn't got do a ziknikwe which I'm yifo NCM me. Il MC Chi Su do got an incredible own. Lunan then pulled a piece of PPA OA blank, but it radiated an eerie map. Meanwhile, inside a grim, GAC pallet, corpses hung farm, the ceiling. Hen in OE rose respectfully carried a zet of clothes. The cult Leo Ha issued a Herrick command. As she spoke, a hat emerged farm a fun of blat, followed slowly by the rod of the Boji. The supreme Jujine of the XDA actually needs me? Bikt of X Varjang consecutive mixin cheese, ha been a setback in our plans. It seems key can be, no ramfo erigid time in Yak KNT, Ellen's head AO immediately. Yulia is heading to the demon realm, Dane Hall. The voice you selected does Nuhunim brought Alishan to the Debo Gobbers click the upper right corner. Imeds a werewolf in a voice. The werewolf O excited to she Avshen, and immediately pulled Lunan aside to whisper. Dujak. So Hod's Oe Duv been satel and is he late? She's no. Is Yak Duty yon you girlfriend? Oda bought Maria. I do actually get a tatin plague. Luna's side end tried to explain. If Acer HT do Zayat had probably burst into tears. She's get a vari get friend. I brought Hia to got a capme weapon, empty. As she's extremely extrang, so Hant even thin about challenged a werewolf Braka into a can sweat. Jet Yui, MIT, the chief came to greet him. Duar Hia Lunan. I am TX packs in preparation, apt to receiving Yola too. I'm key excited to Zai O Duv brought. Han disappoint me. Of course not. Lunan pulled the PP ish, for am his CTT broad Zamanthan even ma impressive jit Timo. Isn't Jit data scrap of PPH? Oh exactly is Jit, the mom Doran touched it. Suddenly terrifying sinister peo surged through him. It felt as if he being dragged into hell. Doran L go immediately. Odonet? You did do Fang Jit thing? It contains an infinite amount of evil Ongi. I haven't vu shan anything so terrifying in my lay as expected of the Matuzmit. Deo 8, and it took. Fodu tu Zayat true natch. I'm already lucking fout to seeing the weapon it becomes. Who's 8 IOA using Jifo a weapon, using such evil Mat Ryan Fo a weapon? No user CCT ever hopped to contra. Forging such a thing, GA again my conscience as mit. Hant Warriabod yacht. The user Yuan be able to handle it. Besides, isn't you forged the On's Gradit weapon? CM on chief. Falio hat's desire. Lord by Lunan's Oct, Doran finally agreed. K later Zuliv Noe on his UE to the training grounds. Lunam called A to him getting L, and yet Dorix do heading to do really a hardworking. Oh do own. I do here to challenge Yomi to a duel? Yet G sao tempting. But I'm here for Zamanthan else to a. CM me to a dangerous plaxa, doer the knee own extrang enough to go but Zuliv refused immediately. I hun havu taimu fo yo I barely havu enough taimu to tram adusu du mcm do might regret it. As he spoke Hunan pulled dumemthan far his CT a grin, jiprin line lay. Is it? The neck K they looked ev the Kalari Jez plaxa is as miraculous as ever. I nev you thought I'd dzet fatten jit hellho agon, I'm really exery Zuliv. Macking 8 NTB lay do accompany me here. It's fain lay do zate. Jet Yuan provide Gert combat experience. More importantly, dal kip yo promise rate, on jit, isev, dal give yacht to me. Luna smiled knowingly, of course I'm a man of my If prepared some topsha supplies fodu. Int it's a expaxon gip, as he spoke on and pulled 8 portraits of Yirfar am his robe. She sends AI lit up the mem, hey ex bull kai's I ham a bit closer? Not a chan. Do can enjoy him own Jujiani is, ev. In yacht kanti elens hurry up and sidalexia tichi a few K of trench king through G desert to reach in har. Do know. Jip plaxa LSE deserted. But it reeks of bola. En key attraps Avrio N, of course kie. The pip here lay by the Danehar CTT. Hunch means the area is crawling there a hunting and troublesome bunch. If we run into Hazet to wipe Hemio completely, rate, I got it. Since do peeped at Yacht Yui, wiping Hem Ao as practically a plitch act yet as he finished X by Thu Yifeng began to glow a faint blue lay. He dropped into an attacking stance. His AI sap in the fun of tilling intent. LSE Leia bought 30 of Hem H. Bitho anyone CCT blend X Vargin flashes of Satric Has Noran. It do act so suddenly? I exactly later, a Brinline lay fin the sky. Followed by a sudden, massive shockwave. Dozens of bandits hiding in the shahaks and flying by the gao. ManhWa left completely stunned. More of him dodged yacht than I expected. El Havu to have handled the rot personally. Do CCT Zen key movement arm jit fa awi? And do struck facts too? Is yacht even possible? Get extend yo perception using mana. It's a big sich yui to use kyo ungai. Is key a problem? ManhWa X to speechless. The guy acted late oang tinthin. And owned those attacks facts to launched. They looked lay ordinary zout beams, but the mum they hit the target. They transformed into a raging vortex. You can actually compress the X-toms into concentrated zout engi. The la time when we sparred. He wasn't anywhere near Jitlaban. To thin haze grown Jit much in such a st timo. He really is destined to reach the pitch of swordsmanship. A mambo to be a Zhao Zen. Those two simple lucking strikes. Ugh, actually the X-toms out perfectly compressed. As the Yangyi reached its limit. A brimline flood lit up the sky. In an angst, no simple beams. Transformed into a Vilg X-tom, tearing the Hikkun ambushers Faram Kikava. But Shu Yifan knew some had X2 escaped. Escaped scouts from the X-tom bandits, chalking the aria, but they Navu exmed juk get fa awi hat vanished. Oe own scout, oe azas peers agreeing through him they went. O iluona see you Shu Yifeng oe rate, kia ue moab jizu bahats actually a git thing. If ggt a new weapon, amtu oe tat frivu, no onku du bingai so it's kamen farm yochu webibe. It lsi lay. Doran habuharnas is lowly a mahiru the blot far his bs even lucking fout to jeet. The voice you selected does not support you or the facts to o and tiselkjit well and how to switch to another voice. In the blend of an AI, a strange lay flicker a dagger on mal lay a bolt of lightning. Before the white-haired man CCT react. A massive hun appeared in his chest. Everyone away paralyzed shock. Before they CCT even MUV. The dagger continued through the E, tracing Xstrange and Iriar every CVI OA pinpoint accurate, striking him own by own. By the time the bandits realized he bought his already severe and wounds. The bandits collapsed, own up to Anno. Wool, facts to impressions a pretty dit. The piercing payo is incredible. A Heiken Lady weapon really MCG it'll be counting on Dufar M Noan. The remaining bandits charged at him win the dagger. Luanin carved X Varginamoa PPN sliced through the chatching bandits. Effortless Prigzixen, the Vakes captain, unable immediately barbel at orders. Got into formation. Hein yo positions, damn it, hunt get rat inlay idiots. If we ellent ow gat how. We're unjet. As long as we hen the lay, the enemy can't get pick us piece. Suddenly a figure appeared right behind him. Get judgment. Do empty havu a lot of it, but unfortunately, it's an in vain. The mom he spoke. Con flashes of lay darted it to Kurlep. OA followed by a bandit exploded. But get then. A massive shoe came flying uvavired. How ki do ti metalari desert, prepare to ka il Caesar do into dust. Luonin get nonchalantly pictures Oihan do give it a try. A not buying difficult. If do then do can actually do it, bandit Liu looked utterly consojus king on. Jishu Oa forged firm the rarest Hagrate to somehow manage. To hutgil my atk. And counteratic at the exact same time the captain realized the trite and Oa perian to run frenetically. Hazamang do run forward he Oa no Yui Luonin. Oa letting G immediately channeled magic into the dagger. And tossed it toward the fleeing captain. The dagger landed right in front of him. The captain hesitated foe amum. Wasn't yat the dagger he Oa using? Oh haben? Did he MIT? Did he get throw it at 19th? Suddenly centered on the dagger. A magician expy oat erupted. The bandits tried to keep running. We to feign. Themselves in Sleorn my want left Heinl's rate. A man Doran really is a guineed. To thing he CCT crap a weapon. Yat stores menefosal it lets me trigger skills far MA lidstan. No the battlefield. Looked lay it OACCT in a giant Xpigas oat. No matter how much the bandits struggled, the threat clung to him as if they ally. The more they moved, the tighter they bound. Cries fo muxi fen the e, but to Luanen, they get noi. No please to let me go. I'm begin do have a muxi.